glad you could join us here in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights and the Pitt Panthers going at it. Rutgers undefeated in large part because of their defense. For more on Rutgers and their defense, let's go down to Janine Edwards.
When Greg Schiano joined Rutgers 6 years ago, his first order of business was improving his team's non-existent defense. Just 2 years ago, Rutgers ranked 104th in the nation in total defense. They allowed 95 points and 1,100 yards in their final 2 games that season. Last year, Schiano took over as defensive coordinator, and there was some improvement. But this year, it's all turned around for the Rutgers D, and they are currently leading the nation in scoring defense. Schiano says his players have made tremendous strides this year. He said, we had a plan and we stuck with it, and our guys are making things happen. He said, our strength is our speed up the middle on D, but he added, facing the nation's most efficient quarterback will no doubt put his revitalized defense to the test.
Thank you so much, Janine.
Yeah, you look at it, just a tremendous job of the turnaround that they've had defensively.
Take a look at the impact players for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Mike Teal, Brian Leonard, and Ray Rice. Teal coming off a career game last week against Navy.
Yeah, you talk about inside, outside toughness and then speed to go along with it. You're describing Brian Leonard and Ray Rice. And then last week, the outstanding game that Mike Teal had, his coming out party as the Rutgers quarterback.
Both these teams know how to get out of the gate. Take a look at this. First quarter points for both these teams. Rutgers has scored 48, allowed just 7. And the Pitt Panthers, what's that all about? 76-3, they're outscoring their opponents in the first stanza.
Yeah, and you talk to this Pitt coaching staff. We talked to them yesterday, and they want to make sure they're the ones who get the lead in this football game tonight. Because last year, Rutgers jumped them 27-0 and started bringing all kinds of pressure on Tyler Palco. And it was a long, long football game for that man, the head coach at Pitt, Dave Wannstedt.
Yeah, Dave Wannstedt getting those guys ready to play in that first quarter. Puts them out in the field with their hair on fire. All right, we're ready to go. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights will start off on offense with the ball. Willie Foster fakes the reverse, keeps it himself, has room down the left side. Foster with the kicker to beat, fumbles the football, and it goes out of bounds. Great return to begin the game for Rutgers. Adam Gressel, who kicked the ball off, was the man who forced the issue.
Yeah, you talk about the Big East Special Teams Player of the Year last season, and you see the big playability, but there, just sets up his blocks well, and now he is just one-on-one with the kicker, and a fabulous job by Adam Gressel getting him on the ground right there, actually ripping the football out, almost causing a turnover, but they'll ride him a little bit in the Special Teams meeting tomorrow about letting the kicker bring him down.
It was Foster a year ago who returned a punt 71 yards for a touchdown for Rutgers against Pitt. A game that was won by the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, played in New Jersey. All right, after the 40-yard kickoff return, first play of the game is a pass that is complete over the middle, pickup of about 7 yards. Pass complete to Tyquan Underwood. Well, for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights offensively, they have dealt with significant injuries to their receivers all season long, but their offensive line has been solid.
Yeah, a tremendous group up front. They've started together every game this year. Cameron Stevenson was a defensive lineman a year ago who moved over in the spring and played every game, 12 games as a defensive lineman last year, playing well at guard this season.
Ray Rice, the deep back, they give it to the fullback, Brian Leonard. And the senior from Gouverneur, New York, picks up the first down, a pickup of 4, brought down by Chris McKillop. Pittsburgh defensively, they are fast, they are physical, and they lead the nation in forcing turnovers, forcing 20 of them.
Yeah, a lot of speed, especially from the linebacking core. Session, Blades, and Campbell, maybe one of the fastest players on the entire football team. They will be tested today by this Rutgers big front and those 2 outstanding backs in Leonard and Rice.
Good start to the game offensively for Rutgers. They give delayed handoff to Ray Rice, and he breaks through, fumbles the football. It's still loose. Pittsburgh says they have it.
Well, it looked like one of the Rutgers offensive players had a chance to just fall on it. Instead, he was trying to pick it up, and it scoots around a little bit more, and now we got to kind of uncoil the bodies here and see who's on the bottom with the football. Boy, that's not something that Ray Rice, you see him do a lot, but Pitt going to tackle the football today.
And the ball stays with Rutgers.
Breathing a sigh of relief the head coach, Mike Ciano, right here in the open field, and it's Clint Session, the outside linebacker, who gets in there. They're tackling the football. It was Brian Leonard who actually could have come up with it. He was trying to reach down and pick it up right there. You just got to fall on it. Any way you can get to the football, just fall on it and cover it up.
Pittsburgh defensively leads the country in forced turnovers. So far in the first 2 minutes of this game, they've forced 2 fumbles. They haven't recovered either of them, but they've forced 2 fumbles. Second down and 4. Teal out of the shotgun. Little trickery. They get it out to Leonard. And Leonard, not much doing left side. Let's go down back on the field. And Jeannie, what's going on?
Well, Eric, you were just talking about Pittsburgh forcing the turnovers. Dave Wanstead said even though we're lacking experience and depth on defense, we're a lot better than we were last year. Now, Rutgers coach Greg Schiano told us that not allowing turnovers will be critical. He said it's the most important thing is ball security. It's something we've been working hard on every day.
Yeah, you talk about Rutgers, and you mentioned the 2 fumbles early in this game. They fumbled 6 times coming in, but they recovered all 6. Now they're 8 for 8. You can fumble it, just recover it.
That's what happens when you're an undefeated team. Ball bounces your way. 3rd and 5. Teal throws late over the middle, looking for his tight end, Clark Harris, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, tremendous coverage on the part of HB Blaze. We mentioned the 3 linebackers having to have a big ball game in this game tonight. Session, you see him already creating a fumble, and then there, HB Blaze with the pass coverage on Clark Harris.
Joe Radigan comes on to punt it away. If he gets his season's average of 46 yards per kick, he's going to kick it in the end zone. Darrell Revis back deep. See if he has an opportunity. Sails over his head and into the end zone. Touchback ball will be placed on the 20. So, Pittsburgh has the football. Let's take a look at their impact players offensively. Palco, Derek Kinder, and LaRod Stevens-Howling. Palco, all he's doing in his senior year, leading the nation in pass efficiency.
Yeah, just managing this football team. And you look at that completion percentage. When you go over 70%, you're having some success. But just distributing the football to his playmakers, Kinder, Stevens-Howling, and all the rest of those receivers who have got in the mix offensively for Pitt.
Single back offense right here. LaRod Stevens-Howling. They fake it to him. Palco wants a bunch. Has a man. Incomplete. Looking for O'Derrick Turner, who had it and then lost it.
Yeah, Courtney Green, they're in 2-deep zone coverage, and Tyler Palco reads it out perfectly. There's a hole between the corner and the safety, and he uses his eyes to get the football out to O'Derrick Turner. But boy, you got to come up with that play. I think he was sensing that he was going to take a shot, and Courtney Green certainly made true on his intuition there.
And Courtney Green for Rutgers, he is a fantastic safety. Make the pitch out, and that play was doomed to begin with. Palco just throws it away. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long. Take a look at the Pittsburgh Panthers starting lineup. They're averaging 37 points per game. That's on pace to break the school record set back in 1977.
Yeah, and a surprise up front, playing very well as a unit. The Pitt offensive line, Jeff Ota and Joe Thomas, the newcomers to that offensive line. Joe Thomas, just a freshman right out of high school, playing at a tremendous level early in his young college career.
3rd down and 10. Palco and the Panther offense needs to get to the 30. With time to set up a screen. Nobody home. Palco gonna run for it. He's got a chance. And how about that? The senior quarterback calls his own number.
Boy, just a good job of coverage on the part of Rutgers, and that's what created the big running lane for Palco. Nobody open and makes Ramil Mickens miss, and now he's got a lot of green grass to the 1st down marker and takes advantage of it. He is a mobile quarterback and can hurt you with his legs along with that nice arm that he has as well, Eric.
Yeah, Andre, I know we were both very impressed with Tyler Palco. Got a chance to meet him yesterday. Great athlete, but also got a great head on his shoulders. Conrich Collins, the fullback, now in the game. He's in front of Stevens-Howling. Palco wants to throw. Dips it out. Stevens Howling with the football in space. Another first down for the Panthers. Let's take a look at the Rutgers Scarlet Knights defensively. They lead the country in points allowed per game, just 8 a game. They pitched 2 shutouts, one against Illinois and once last week against Navy.
Yeah, and with Pitt wanting to run the football, these guys up front going to be severely tested in this football game. But Ramil Meekins, the National Defensive Player of the Week this year, had an outstanding ball game last week against Navy.
And for a nose tackle, he had 12 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. That'll get you Player of the Week every week. And off inside. Stevens Howling, wrapped up by the man we're talking about, number 60, Ramil Meekins.
Yeah, just right there, playing off the blocks. You're talking about a guy who was a walk-on, and not an invited walk-on. He just walked on the football team. Watch him inside work against the center, and then shoves him aside. Joe Villani, the big center for Pitt, and then makes the tackle on a very speedy, good running back in LaRod Stevens Howling, who they are not afraid at Pitt to run inside at 5'7", 175 pounds.
Second down and 10, empty backfield. Tight end Steve Bucas goes from left side to the right. Falco, hit from behind. Ball is loose. Still loose. And they're going to say it's going to stay with the Pitt Panthers.
Boy, it bounced around a lot, got caught on a couple of shoulder pads of the Rutgers defenders. But here you see the blitz coming off the edge there, and Palco not seeing it because it's from his blind side. You have to have a sense on your pre-snap read. Now it's bouncing around. A lot of guys, white jerseys, have an opportunity to recover the fumble. But boy, yeah, that is definitely a fumble. It gets close to whether it's a pass or not, but that is clearly a fumble. And Pitt gets a huge break on that play.
They lose 6 yards. It's now a 3rd down and 16. Senior Palco completes the short pass, and that's not going to get it done. O'Derek Turner, his first catch of the game, but he is wrapped up by Jason McCourty.
And just a good job of reading out the screen and playing underneath it, and that's you read the receiver. If you're in man coverage, sometimes they're looking to kick out on the corner with a tackle, and you got to get to the receiver like Blue, because all of a sudden you got a big body at 6'5", 315, Mike McGlynn coming out there to kick you out. Just glue to that receiver, which is what Jason McCourty did on that play.
Adam Gressel should be the most rested man in town. Didn't punt at all in their game last week. Has to punt here, and Willie Foster, look at this man. He's already had a fantastic kick return. Now a good punt return, but maybe coming back. Flags down on the field. Would have been a return of 17 yards.
Yeah, it's going to be the backup corner, Joe Porter, with a block in the back. Glenn Lee was there as well. One of the two are going to be guilty, and this one's going to be backed up a little bit.
There's our referee, John McDade, with the emphatic call, block in the back. So, Greg Schiano's team, they will have the football for their second time when we come back. Pick your poison. Thunder in Brian Leonard or lightning with Ray Rice.
Yeah, been kind of underused this year with Brian Leonard, but that guy certainly hadn't. He has stepped up. Had one heck of a sophomore season so far.
This is the second time with the football for Rutgers, and they give it to Rice, the sophomore from New Rochelle, New York. Big gainer before he's dropped by Darrell Rivas. Pick up of 14 yards.
Or Cameron Stevenson and Jeremy Zuda. The right guard and right tackle right over here. Watch the hole in which he has to run through. Right there, cutting off the block of Brian Leonard. And we talked about the matchup between Brian Leonard and the linebackers for the Pitt defense. And right there, stepping up and making a play for Ray Rice. Just as valuable as Ray Rice in this offense.
Rice on the sideline for this 1st and 10. And the give goes to the senior, Leonard. Leonard moves the pile a couple of yards. Let's go back to the studio. Linda Cohn and Trevor Maddich are standing by, guys.
Taco Bell takes us to Ann Arbor. Tie game at 3 in the third quarter. Iowa and Michigan. Michael Hart, 9-yard touchdown, his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. 10-3 Michigan. This game is on ABC. But trouble for Notre Dame, Trevor.
Yeah, this could cost them a shot at the BCS if they lose.
All right, back to you, Eric.
Thank you so much. How about that? A little bit of a shocker in South Bend. Just 2.5 remaining. Fighting Irish down by 4, possibly on the ropes.
Wow.
2nd and 7. Quick toss out to Leonard. They use him all over the field. And Leonard out across the 35 to the 36 before H.B. Blades brings him down. That's now a catch in 41 consecutive games for Leonard.
And you kind of underestimate a guy like Brian Leonard. 6'2", 235. You think just between the tackles, he's that type of back. No, he can make plays in space. We've seen him hurdle a couple of players in past games. But, boy, a very agile running back who can make a lot of plays in a lot of different situations.
They call it the Leonard leap.
I tell you, he showed a little vertical on the Leonard leap.
All right, 3rd down and 5. Teal in the shotgun. With time, throws a dart, incomplete, looking for Tyquan Underwood. I apologize, that was to Kenny Britt. Pass incomplete, 4th and 5. Let's go down to the field and Janine.
Well, Eric, in preseason, Brian Leonard was rated #1 fullback in the nation on several lists. He told us he didn't know what his role was going to be at the beginning of this year. He said, I don't think about coming close to records. I just want to do my job. Well, speaking of records, he's on the cusp of setting new school records in scoring, all-purpose yards, and receptions.
What a fantastic 4-year career he has had. Thank you, Janine. Radigan, his 2nd punt. Revis calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 19-yard line. The Pitt Panthers will have the football for the 2nd time. See if they can make something happen with it when we come back. The game, we may have precious few times remaining to watch Tiki Barber. Is he really? He's threatening he may retire at the end of the year.
A lot of Giants fans kind of surprised with that news. I as well am surprised at that. I think he's got a lot of yards left in that body.
You played with a guy who retired early in Barry Sanders.
Yep. Sometimes when it's time, it's just time.
2nd time with the football. Tyler Palko leads it out. Pass is complete to his tight end, Nate Byam. Freshman that they're really high on.
Well, Rutgers liked last year to bring a lot of pressure on Tyler Palko. That first drive, you see it right here. Off the edge with a corner. Then you have Meekins applying a little pressure from the defensive line and Palko making a play with his legs. And then here, the blitz that he did not pick up and got lucky when they recovered the fumble. But this was their way last year, bringing pressure.
Number 80, offense. He was covered up and is not eligible to receive a pass. Penalty enforcement, we placed the ball at the previous spot. We've lost it down. 2nd down.
That was Nate Bynum, actually covered up and not an eligible receiver to come out or go out on a pass. And, he's a freshman that they really, really like a lot. He's competing and pushing Darnell Strong at the other tight end, who's actually listed at 2nd team, but both of them kind of battling and jockeying for position. They really like Nate Bynum.
And Bynum's an example of one of those recruits that Dave Wanstead and his staff are starting to bring to the University of Pittsburgh. Blue chippers in this program over the last couple of years. Carried by Conrad Collins. And he stumbles forward for a pickup of 3, maybe 4. Collins comes from good stock. His father played in the NFL for a number of seasons. Tony Collins, former tailback with the New England Patriots.
Yeah, he's got both the skills to play fullback where they list him as well as tailback, and just a tremendous athlete from Miami at Montessori Edward Pace High School. And just a sophomore. A lot of young talent on this Pitt football team. They're going to be good for a long, long time.
Derek Turner in motion. 3rd and 7. Under pressure. Palko has to eat it. sacked in the backfield. Eric Foster, his third sack of the season, and the pressure has been continuous on Palco so far today.
Well, keep an eye. We're going to watch it from a close bird's eye view and watch the pocket just collapse into Palco. And you see Eric Foster working right there against right guard Joe Thomas, a freshman. And I'm telling you, they are bringing all kinds of pressure on Tyler Palco, and that's where they had the success last season when they jumped out to that big 27-love lead.
That's just the 6th sack allowed by the Pittsburgh offensive line. Willie Foster, not enough room to run on that one. He calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 47-yard line. So the Rutgers Scarlet Knights will have the ball when we come back. Do you know the only Heisman Trophy Award winner in Pittsburgh's storied history? We'll let you know who he is when we come back with our heroes of the program.
In just a few moments, and we're back right now, Eric.
Welcome back, everyone, here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Steel City. This is a program that has spawned Dan Marino, Tony Dorsett, Joe Schmidt, goal number 65, a Hall of Famer.
Detroit Lions.
The Detroit Lions, sure. They have a rich football tradition here at Pittsburgh. Mike Ditka, a big part of that. Mark May, number 73. Hugh Green, I remember him back in the early 80s.
A friend of mine, Hugh Green.
Golfer with you?
We play a little golf together in the summer.
One thing he doesn't have in common with you, Hugh Green came in second in the Heisman Trophy.
Hey,
you came in first, my friend.
He gives George Rogers a bad time about it, too, because Hugh really feels like it was his to win. and George walked away with it.
They call Pittsburgh the city of bridges, Andre, and we've had a good time here the last couple of days. It's a beautiful city.
You know, concerned about the weather when we arrived here Thursday, but it cleared out, and it's a beautiful evening for football. Perfect weather-wise here in the Steel City.
Well, Rutgers normally doesn't like their trip to Pittsburgh. They've won just once here in the history of their program. They are just 1-11 all-time here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That win came back in 1998. Well, it's been a while. But this is also the first time that they've ever played Pitt as a ranked team.
Yeah, it's a good football team. Two really good football teams, solid in all three aspects of a team game: offense, defense, and special team.
Pitch it out to Ray Rice, and Rice with another good game. Pickup of 8 down to the 30-yard line.
Well, you just see the speed of a guy like Ray Rice. Runs low to the ground, but can change directions very, very well. Not real big, 5'9", 195 pounds, and they're not afraid to run him in the middle of the formation as well as take advantage of his speed to get to the outside. And Marciano just kind of found Ray Rice and has been very, very pleased with the way he's playing this season.
You can win a lot of games with a strong defense and a good ground game. Another handoff to Rice and another first down. The sophomore stumbles out to the 21-yard line. Pickup of 9 before Mike Phillips trips him up.
Well, I'll tell you, the play before, they use him to get to the outside edge around Pedro Sosa, the big left tackle, and then there they run him inside of Darnell Stapleton, the center, and Mike Fladell, the left guard. And Ray Rice, I tell you, he is a rhythm runner as well. Once he gets a rhythm, all of a sudden he just gets better as the game progresses. He'll be hard to stop if he finds that rhythm early in this football game.
He has 2 200-yard games already this season. They give it to him for a third straight time. Bounces left, not much doing over there. Janine, what's going on down in the field?
Well, I've been keeping my eye on Pitt coach Dave Wadstad, and it's easy to read his expressions. He is getting very frustrated. He is pacing up and down. He's talking to his coordinators up in the booth, and then when these guys were in the huddle, he ran out to the huddle, and he pointed to his head like, guys, use your head. Use your head. Play smart. He is getting frustrated right now.
He has some penalties early in his football game, a couple of turnovers early in his football game. That'll create a little frustration for the head coach.
They fake to Rice. Teal with time. Complete over the middle. Underwood with the catch. He's brought down at the 15-yard line by Brian Bennett.
I like what Teal did on that play, not trying to force the action into a congested area. Waited for Taekwon Underwood to clear underneath and then found the receiver, gets him in third down and medium, so you still have the entire playbook in which to operate in this end of the field inside the red zone. I really like the game right now that Mike Teal's playing. Don't force the action. Let the football game come to you as the quarterback.
3 receivers in the game. Teal has a man open, and Underwood can't make the grab. Pass a little bit behind him, and the ball hits the turf.
Boy, a timed out pattern on the outside edge to Taekwon Underwood. Wide open. He just tried to run with a football a little too early. Watch him push off here. Inside, nice little stick in the ground, come back to the football, maybe throwing just a little bit behind him, but that's a catch you got to make because you're trying to throw over the linebacker here as the quarterback. A nice touch pattern. You get it in the vicinity, the receiver's got to make a play for you.
So Jeremy Ito will come on for a field goal attempt of 32 yards. He is 8 for 10 so far on this season. Ito, Californian, makes the kick. So the first 3 points of the game scored by the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Redshirt freshman quarterback Matt Grothe has the South Florida Bulls off to a 5-2 start so far this season and in a hunt for a bowl bid. Sunday night, they'll take on the Cincinnati Bearcats. College football primetime is part of Sunday Showdown, presented by Alltel Wireless on ESPN at 8 Eastern Time.
Well, we talked about the Big East and the teams that are undefeated, 3 undefeated teams in this conference, only 7 in the nation. Pitt with 1 loss, and then South Florida sitting there at 5-2. They can get bowl eligible tomorrow night against Cincinnati. So a good conference from top to bottom, the Big East.
Well, there are some similarities between the Pitt program led by Dave Wannstedt and the Rutgers program led by Greg Schiano. They coached together for 3 years in Chicago in the NFL. Schiano was a young assistant on the defensive staff when Dave Wannstedt was the head coach. They also both have ties to the University of Miami. And while at the University of Miami, they both believed in getting fast, quick, not necessarily large, defensive players.
Yeah, that's where they're similar, is that both defenses kind of undersized if you look at the linemen and the linebackers, not the big guys that you would expect on successful defenses, but they've got a scheme that works. They both work together, and they believe in building small, fast defensive players that get to the football with excellent quickness, and both are having success this season.
Kickoff. He run out by Lowell Robinson. He returned one for a touchdown a week ago. Good return, had a full head of steam, and gets out to the 29-yard line. A 28-yard gain. And a flag is down on the field.
Well, Devin McCourty basically saved another home run on the part of Lowell Robinson, but that one's going to come back. And Janine made a point about Dave Wannstedt being upset. Well, that blood pressure just went up
after the play
a little bit more.
Personal foul. 44 return team. Penalty be half the distance to the goal line from the end of the run. First down, Pittsburgh.
Senior linebacker Brian Bennett with a mental gaffe, and Dave Wannstedt is not going to tolerate it.
Well, Brian, of course, you're saying, hey, I didn't do it. I don't know what they're talking about.
So the ball's moved back to the 14-yard line.
And this is a situation where Rutgers really, really likes to bring pressure.
Rod Stevens-Holland set back behind Palco, and he's going nowhere. He is stoned in the backfield and brought down for a loss of yards. William Beckford, senior from Belglade, Florida, got in the backfield and disrupted that. Janine, what's going on?
Well, Eric, just to add to what you were talking about earlier about Wannstedt and Schiano, Dave Wannstedt said that when Schiano worked for him as the defensive assistant, he said he had an amazing attention to detail. He's extremely smart and a tireless worker, and he said, you know what you get with Greg. He's a straight shooter. As for Wannstedt, Schiano said, he's had such an impact on my life, and it's easy to see why the players respect him.
A lot of people thought that Schiano was just going to build his program and move on. He likes it at Rutgers. Yeah. He's a Jersey guy. He may be there for a long time. Stevens howling. Not much doing. Ron Geralt forces him down with an elbow, with a strong forearm.
Well, he will hit you, and that's one of the smaller undersized, just 5'11", playing strong safety, but the quickness to come up and fill the hole. And when he arrives, he delivers with a thud. Ron Geralt, the strong safety at Rutgers. Boy, he comes up, you're going to feel it a little bit, Eric.
That'll be the final play of the first quarter. Both teams will have to go all the way down to the other end. It has been all Rutgers so far, but it's still a close game. The Panthers down by just 3, even though they've been dominated in the statistical categories.
Tyler Palkos.
Welcome back to the city of fridges, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The 19th ranked Rutgers Scarlet Knights on top of the Pittsburgh Panthers, 3-0. Andre, they pretty much did what they want statistically in the first quarter.
Right.
Pittsburgh cannot say the same. They had just 8 total yards offensively.
And you think you've seen pressure if you're Tyler Palko. Wait till now. You see him creeping up around that line of scrimmage. Watch for Rutgers to bring pressure here on this play on third down.
Pittsburgh just 1 of 3 on third down. Need a bunch. Palko looking for it. Pass is knocked away. Looking for Marcel Pestano. Good defense played by Ron Geralt.
And you saw him come up and run support, and they're back against the pass, and the fans here, you hear the boo birds for the officials. They wanted pass interference, but I think it was just a fabulous play on the part of Ron Geralt. Right here, going over the top, maybe a little contact, but he's got every right to the football as the receiver. Did not touch the receiver, made a play on the football. That's why there's no flag.
So it'll bring up a 4th and 13, and Adam Gressel will come back on. His second punt of the game just barely gets it away. Good booming kick. Fair catch called for and made by Willie Foster at the 40-yard line. Punt of 48 yards. So the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, they'll try and score for a second consecutive time. They're on top of Pitt, 3-0. One of the best running backs in football history, Tony Dorsett's 4-year college career was full of superlatives. Dorsett became the first player in NCAA history to rush for 6,000 yards in a career. Instrumental in the team's undefeated national championship season in 1976, Dorsett won the Maxwell and Walter Camp Awards as well as the Heisman Trophy. Tony Dorsett, a hero of the program. Well, just how dominant was Tony D? Look at this. This is going to stand the test of time. He has doubled the next closest man to him in rushing yards.
Kervin Richards out of LaPorte High School, just south of Houston. But good fraternity, brother of mine. Get a chance to spend a little time with Tony D in the offseason.
The Heisman Trophy fraternity. First down and 10. Ray Rice wrapped up by H.B. Blades. No gain on the play.
Well, H.B. Blades, we mentioned him at the top. Just an outstanding linebacker, having an All-American season. Played with his father in Detroit for 4 years, Benny Blades. Plantation, Florida. But he knows the game, studies it well, knows and reads the offensive line before reacting. And he says, that's what's really made me the player I am. He's kind of in that Spielman mold, Chris Spielman, where he reads, and not the fastest guy, but boy, they can certainly play football.
He was in that locker room with you guys up in Detroit when you were playing for the Lions.
That's right.
Second down and 10. Pass is complete for the tight end, Clark Harris. No, incomplete. He had it and then dropped it. He'll bring up a third down. Now let's go back to the studio with Linda Cohn and Trevor Madden.
All right, Eric, Notre Dame down 4 against UCLA. 40 seconds left. What a finish. Brady Quinn hooking up with who else? Jeff Samardzija, 45-yard touchdown. Unbelievable. Trevor, the Cardiac kids do it again.
And doing it ugly. They only had 34 yards rushing. Quinn carried them on his back.
Notre Dame hopes for a BCS bowl game remain alive, Eric.
You've got to be kidding me.
Unbelievable comeback.
Oh, my
God. Did not know that. That's certainly news to us here in this booth. Nice job by Brady Quinn. That's what you got to be. You can't flinch in the face of fire. You got to just stand in there and face it. And I tell you what he did on that play.
Obviously some highly skilled athletes, but a little bit of luck of the Irish on that one.
Hey, you know, you win and you take them and you get on the bus and you head for the house. Any way you can get the wins.
All right, we have an official review right here. We're going to see whether or not Clark Harris made this catch.
Right here you see him. He's kind of bobbling. That brings it in. It looks like the knee is down, and then the football comes out. I think this will be a reversal. I think he had possession of the football right here. Take a look at it. He's got it. It's out a little bit. Now it's tucked away, and then the knee comes down. Boy, but it has to be indisputable. I'm not sure. That one may come back as a catch.
So a timeout on the field. And I guess, Andre, I'm going to ask you about that Notre Dame-UCLA game. Do you believe in style points? Because obviously Notre Dame didn't win very many playing at home against the UCLA team that's not ranked and just barely squeaking by.
No, I don't believe it, because you look at it, and Notre Dame's the type of team. Here we go with
the play stance is called on the field. Third down.
Incomplete.
Well, I certainly thought he had possession, and then the knee was down. Then the football came out, and he doesn't believe it either. But you talk about style points in a win. No, it's just tough when you're everybody's measuring stick, so to speak, and you're going to get everybody's best if you're Notre Dame. And that's exactly what happened with UCLA today.
So you don't drop Notre Dame down because of that?
Not at all. Not at all.
All right, 3rd down and 10 after the incompletion. 3 receivers in the game, right side for Rutgers. Harris in motion now in the backfield with Teal. And they swing it out to Harris. This time he makes the catch. But he's cut down well before 1st down yard.
They're going to come up a little bit short, and an excellent job defensively on the part of the Pitt Panthers of keeping everything deep, covered up, and forcing Mike Teal to come underneath to his tight end, Clark Harris. Tommy Campbell, the outside linebacker, along with Clint Session, rallying up. Those linebackers for Pitt playing outstanding so far in this football game.
Now Harris will have to go in and long snap. Double duty for the tight end.
Very many All-American tight ends, long snap.
It's a good skill to have. Madigan's kick is high, bounces inside the 5-yard line. Oh, this is a beauty. That'll be down at the 2-yard line. James Townsend downs it at the 2 after a 51-yard punt for Joe Radigan. How about that? Let's go down to the field. Janine, what's going on?
Eric, you guys were talking about the great job that these Pittsburgh linebackers have been doing. One of them is H.B. Blades, who is really the motivator for his team. He started that in the offseason by wearing a Rutgers shirt to motivate the guys during the offseason. He said, I really wanted to get these guys fired up about last year when Rutgers defeated Pittsburgh. He said them beating us like that last year was a sign that they wanted it more than we did. He said we needed heart and passion. Well, Dave Wanstead loved seeing him in that Rutgers shirt. He said, I was so happy to see that. That game really bothered at least one guy. I'd love to see it bother 85.
Give to Conridge Collins. He picks up a couple on 1st down. Yeah, last year it was a beatdown.
Yeah,
Rutgers.
It was 27 love before you could blink an eye, and then all of a sudden it kind of got out of hand. That's where Rutgers had the success defensively against Pitt. They started bringing all types of pressure. I bet they called every blitz they had watching film of that football game yesterday, and Greg Schiano just unloaded everybody on Tyler Palco in that football game.
Look at this. Panthers can't get out of their own way. -3 yards on the ground. 2nd consecutive carry for Collins. Struggles forward, picks up a couple, and a flag comes in late. Ron Geralt on the tackle.
May have gotten around that face mask, Ron Geralt. And all of a sudden the flag comes in a little bit late on the tail end of the run.
So a break for the Panthers.
We're going to get a little breathing room here, but
holding. Number 14, defense. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down.
Greg Schiano can't figure that out. There is not a 14 defensively.
14's Mike Teal, and I can guarantee you it wasn't him.
Correction. Holding, 14 offense. Penalty from the end of the road. They have to distance to the goal line.
Yeah, Darnell Strong, which is the Pittsburgh tight end. You'll see him. That's him right there jogging up the left side right here. You'll see the hole, just a handful of jersey right there. That's what gets the officials' attention. And all of a sudden, Pitt digging themselves a tremendous hole in this football game because, Eric, if you just keep punting back and forth, all of a sudden Rutgers is getting a little bit closer, and that field position is getting a little bit better for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Well, the gain on the ground was just a couple of yards, and so Greg Schiano's bunch, they declined the penalty, bringing up a 3rd down and 6. I guess the feeling was the penalty wouldn't push him back too much further.
Look for the pressure coming off the edges there and there.
Palco in the end zone, has to run out. Does he have room? And the senior quarterback picks up the 1st down with his leg.
All right, you talk about just an outstanding competitor, and I sat in a room with that kid for about 5 minutes yesterday, and he had such an effect on you. There's just a presence about a guy like Tyler Palco. Knows how to win football games in a very stressful situation here. They bring blitz, he escapes, and can make plays with his legs. He's a winner. I asked him, I said, you just can't wait to get to Saturday, can you? He said, you know what? You put in all that preparation, all that hard work and time. You just want to go out and let it all rip on Saturdays. He has fun playing the game.
Fresh set of downs for Pitt. Palco this time wants a bunch, has a man, incomplete. The tight end Bucas had it and then dropped it. Would have been a big play.
Well, he's the true tight end that can do it all, block, run routes, and catch. Dependable, but there, just over the outstretched hands of Steve Bucas. Right here, you see him in the middle of 2 deep zone coverage. You see the safety squeezing Geralt and Courtney Green, and a well-thrown football, maybe thinking he was going to take a lick a little bit early, but that's one you got to come up with because it's right in the heart of the weak spot of the defense in cover 2.
So Palco now just 2 for 6 throwing the football, but can't blame that last one on him. Pass is right on the money. To the ground, Stevens howling. The scat back gets out close to the 20-yard line.
Well, you see the ability to make guys miss. Stevens Howland starts outside and watch the cut, sticking the foot in the ground right here and getting up the field, making Jason McCourty miss and getting him about 3 to 4 more yards. Little guy, not big, but boy, he will run inside and make guys miss along the way.
They call him the Johnstown Jet. Johnstown, PA, not too far away from the stadium.
Passing situation right here for Pitt, and you talk about the pressure. Rutgers lined up to come again.
Palco to Bucas. This time the tight end makes the grab, has the 1st down and more. Flag comes flying. Bucas tackled by Devron Thompson.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with Tyler Palco. Stats don't reveal it right now in this football game, but you talk about standing in there and just fighting. And now Pitt once again is going to have to overcome a penalty. Looks like it's Derek Kinder after the reception.
Legal block in the back. 81 offense. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Repeat 3rd down.
So they had the 1st down.
Yeah.
Because of the spot foul, they're going to march it back 10 yards, and it's going to remain 3rd down.
You know, as a player, there's nothing you can do about it. Right there, just a nudge. Officials getting a little bit touchy. Let them play football. That one I would not have called. That's been the story right now for Pitt. The penalties driving their head coach Dave Wannstedt crazy at this point in the football game. Pitt fans showing their displeasure. You can hear it. The Boo Birds are out for the officials.
3rd down. Conridge Collins behind Palco. Bucas the man in motion. Palco under pressure gets it off, and it's incomplete.
Well, you know, at some point, if you're Tyler Palco, you just have to realize this is going to be one of those games that's going to be extremely frustrating at times. I just kind of got to keep an even keel. I'm going to get hit because Rutgers is going to line up and they're going to bring pressure. And all of a sudden, you got to stand in there in the face of it and deliver the football. Don't get onto your back foot. Just know I got to stand in there and deliver for my football team. He'll come away with that. He'll play better in the second part of this football game.
Wrestle, another punt. Foster comes up, makes the fair catch at the 48-yard line. So another good opportunity for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They'll get the ball just 52 yards away from Pater. See if they can capitalize. Well, so far things have not gone the way of the Pitt Panthers against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They trailed 3-0, but it could be a lot worse. Andre, what should Tyler Palko, this senior quarterback, what should he be doing on the sideline right now?
Well, he's got to get with his receivers, because not only does he have to identify pressure, the receivers' routes have to become a little bit shorter when they see the pressure coming. So pre-snap read for Pitt offensively going to be terribly important.
Rutgers, once again, great field position. The tight end, Clark Harris with the catch, brought down by Brian Bennett, but not before a pickup of 7. Let's go back to the studio with Linda Cohn and Trevor Maddich.
Eric, do I have a game for you? 24-17 Cal. Last play, Huskies last chance. What do? They Hail Mary. Carl Donnell to Marlon Wood. How did the Huskies pull this off, Trevor?
Receivers distributed. Wood is in front. No matter what direction that ball comes out, someone in white has a shot at it.
So Cal blows it. We're on to overtime. Back to you, Eric.
Oh wow.
That can't happen.
College football today.
That can't happen. Second down and 2. Ray Rice with the carry. Little fella can't break a tackle. It'll bring up a 3rd and short.
Boy, you talk about how this game's going and the pressure that Tyler Palko, it's all going to boil down to this, field position. And you see right there the difference for Rutgers and Pitt starting on their own 13-yard line. That's a hard way to earn it today. And then Rutgers with outstanding field position, their own 40. And right now working across midfield in Pittsburgh territory.
Andre, 3rd and short. Does Ray Rice have enough power to get the ball in this situation?
Absolutely. I give it to Ray Rice in this situation and move the chains.
They do. They toss it out to the sophomore, and Rice with the first down and more.
Well, you got one of the best backs in college football this season. Came into this football game 899 yards. And I'll tell you, if you got that kind of talent, just line up, pitch it to him, and let him get downhill. You see the offensive line kind of collapse things, and Brian Leonard right there gets just enough of the shoulder pads of HB Blades to allow Ray Rice to get himself turned up the field, square his shoulders, and attack the line of scrimmage.
Good start so far for Rice.
Well, they go empty backfield here, spreading Pittsburgh out. That's the quick pass out wide.
Teal, left side. There is that quick pass, and it's complete to Underwood.
Well, you just see it. You study enough film, you start to pick up on tendencies a little bit. And there, Mike Teal, when they go empty, they like to get the football out because they don't have a lot of protection inside if Pitt decided to bring someone. And you see Tyquan Underwood right there. Nice, sharp out route, squaring it off away from the defender. And Mike Teal throwing him low and outside where that ball didn't have an opportunity to get tipped away. This is where you come right back with Ray Rice with your Mike Teal.
Rice, another first down. Tough to bring down. He spins out close to the 25-yard line. A pickup of 6.
And you know who's leading him through the hole?
Brian
Leonard. The unselfish player. He's probably the most unselfish player in the entire country. Came out, they had a Heisman campaign going for him and everything. And then all of a sudden, it's Ray Rice who's jumping out on everybody's Heisman radar. But this is a guy that's unselfish, can block, can pass protect, can catch the football out of the backfield. And then when they want to line up and just pound you, they can bring him in with that as well.
Leonard in motion now. Teal. Wraparound handoff. And going nowhere. Cordell Young, his first carry, brought down by Clint Session.
Clint Session was the middle linebacker 2 years ago and swapped with HB Blades. He was the Sam linebacker, the linebacker that played over the tight end. And I'll tell you, he came up and hit Cordell Young, the freshman, like he was playing middle linebacker. Watch this one. Oh, and that is truly stopping you in your tracks right there. Well, he had a big sack last year, and they wanted to move him outside to take advantage of his speed off the edge. Boy, I tell you, he's played well early in this football game.
2nd and 9. Leonard with the carry. And Leonard makes the first man miss. Lowers his head and gets to the 21 before Blades brings him down.
Boy, I like the call there to Brian Leonard, not trying to force it down the field to pick everything up on 2nd down. Talked about it with Tyler Palko. Just want to get it to 3rd where you can manage the situation. 3rd down and medium. You still can confuse the defense, have them playing on their heels because that entire playbook is still at your disposal. Antsy can't wait to get back.
Chomping at the bit. No
That
doubt about
reminds
that.
me of myself a long time ago when you can't wait to get back out. You got to get a football and start warming up again.
And he's going to have to wait even longer because the Scarlet Knights, they call timeout. They want to make sure they make a good decision on this 3rd down and 6.
Well, it's an important situation because you got momentum right now in this football game, and it's getting down close to about halftime, a little under 6 minutes left in the first half, and you want to make sure that you continue to move the football, eat some clock, and then take this lead into halftime. So Greg Schiano is going to make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed before they run a football play here on 3rd down.
Janine, what is Schiano like down with his body language on the field?
Well, let me tell you guys, he is in stark contrast to Dave Wanstead right now. And it wasn't that long ago that we saw Greg Schiano running up and down the sideline screaming in frustration. But tonight, he is cool, composed, collected. He has a very measured way about him and also a very confident air. It's obvious that he has a lot of confidence in his guys right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you're getting all the penalties and you get in the field position and your team is moving the football, it's you're a little more at ease if you're the head coach of Rutgers. And he is a good one.
Young fella as well.
You know what?
Years of age.
Yeah, and he's got a plan. He came into Rutgers with a plan, and all of a sudden last year was just a building block of that plan, just part of it. He is looking to expound on that this season and seasons after at Rutgers.
Let's see what he has up his sleeve on a 3rd and 6. Empty backfield. Teal out of the shotgun. Throws over the middle, pass incomplete, looking for Dennis Campbell.
Boy, Clint Session has been all over the field tonight. We keep calling his name because he just keeps making plays. You see him pressure the passer early, bringing down with a big lick on Cordell Young, and then in pass coverage, he comes up big for Pitt defensively as well.
So it'll force a field goal attempt.
And we talk about one of the best in the country at 80%, 8 of 10. As long of 53 yards. That's the second longest in Rutgers history. Jeremy Ito
made his first one of 32 yards a couple of moments ago. This is from 38. And Ito.
And he misses.
No good. Wide right. Not by much.
It looked like there was a mishandle, but Anthony Calley, the holder there, just a little bit behind him, and it kind of threw the timing off of Jeremy Ito enough to where it just kind of pushed it a little bit right. Talking with Darren Rizzi, the special teams coordinator.
Missed opportunity for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Well, everyone was someone when they were growing up. When we come back, HB Blades will let you know who he was.
I was Dick Buckus when I was growing up, just because his fire and tenacity and passion about the game of football, how much he loved the game, how much he just left it out there. Playing with my Uncle Al, you know, he was older than me by like 5-6 years, and you know we used to play in the backyard all the time. And you know I used to be Dick Buckus, and he used to be Steve Atwater. You know that was his whole deal. So you know we just used to like beat up on each other, you know, pretty much, and that made me tougher.
And you wonder, wearing jersey number 51, if he wears it in honor of Dick Butkus.
He is Chicago tough. HB Blades, he'll hit you.
Good player.
Just this week, he was announced as a semifinalist for the Butkus Award. So he's got an opportunity to be linked forever with Dick Butkus should his senior season go as planned. Larod Stevens Howling with the carry on first down. He's been fairly quiet so far today. He has a good game.
You know, and if they can get him going, get that running game going, they're going to stay committed to it. Talking to Dave Waldstadt yesterday, we are going to run the football. We don't care if we average 2 yards a carry because it keeps you honest defensively, and they're going to have to do that in this football game to keep that Rutgers pressure to a limit.
2nd and 2. Stevens Howling, his second consecutive carry. And again, good things. First down before Ron Geralt can bring him down.
Well, we talked about the Rutgers pressure early in this football game. The pressure up the middle on Tyler Palco. They show up in bunches even in the run game. And here, the speed of that Rutgers defense that we talked about here, selling out in the final play of that last drive to get to Tyler Palco. They want to bring pressure, Eric, and they will bring it in bunches in a lot of different ways.
And Palco, he's feeling that pressure. Sacked twice, hurried. He fumbled once. This is not the way he expected to play this game. Pass up for grabs, and it's caught. Big play for Kinder. Kinder loses the ball late, and they're going to say it's a live football. And Rutgers has it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. I thought he was down. Ron Geralt ends up with the football.
We may get a review here to see if indeed he was down, but what a fabulous catch. You just got to protect the football once you get in a crowded area. He threw one heck of a block for Larod Stevens Howling the play before and then comes up with a big play. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a fumble. That is a fumble and is sat there for about 2 seconds. I mean, excellent catch going up just like it's taught at its highest point. You got to just put it away. Look at that, just going up, tremendous leaping ability on the outside. They've got two pretty big receivers. Kinder at 6'1", and then on the other side, Derek Turner at 6'3", who was a state high jump champion on the other side. And they're going to challenge this one and actually take a look at it, but that was a fumble.
They haven't made the announcement of whether or not this is just an official review or whether or not the Pittsburgh Panthers want this review done.
Well, you look at it here. At the highest point, Derek Kinder, he goes up, makes one heck of a play. And it looks like it's Manny Collins, who's actually replacing Derek Roberson, who has a hamstring injury. But they're just coming out. The ball comes loose, and Rutgers recovers.
Review, the play stands as called on the field. First down.
Yeah, they got that one right, and we saw it early here. But right now, winning that turnover battle, Greg Schiano and his football team, +4 coming into this. Force 17 turnovers coming into the football game. And, well, when you can do that, you can win the battle of turnovers and field position, and you're able to run the football a little bit, you're going to win a lot of football games.
First turnover of the game, handed over to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They have the ball on the 39-yard line. They give it to Rice, and Rice breaks the line of scrimmage and picks up 7 yards on first down.
Boy, the matchup between Brian Leonard and the linebackers for Pitt. Unbelievable block by Leonard here, where he's going to come in and seal off on H.B. Blades. Watch the contact in the hole, just enough to give Ray Rice a crease, and he's so good. He doesn't need a big hole, just a little bitty crease, and he's through it north and south.
Rice again, this time stood up, keeps those legs moving, and he's going to be close to a first down.
Well, this is what takes the fight out of you. When teams can line up and just run the football and have positive yards happen, it gets frustrating on defense because then you can do a lot of different things. You run, and all of a sudden play action, and you have Taekwon Underwood down the field deep, or one of the other receivers, Dennis Campbell, making a big play down the field. And you see the difference in the size of the offensive line at just about 300 pounds for Rutgers and just 266 along that defensive line. You can just lean and start moving people, and they played a lot of plays defensively on the side of Pittsburgh.
Third and a short one. Again, Rice with the football, and again he gets the first down.
Rice carries Rutgers first down.
Well, Rice is hanging out in some tall cotton. We talked about the fact that he's 4th in the country in rushing yards per game.
Well, just following Cameron Stevenson a defensive lineman a year ago. So he adapted well as a senior to the offensive side of the football and is playing outstanding. All those guys have played together, the entire offensive line for Rutgers, all year long, from game 1 to right now.
Rice 12 carries, 64 yards. Andy Britt, freshman, and in motion. They give it again to Rice. And Rice with room to run all the way down to the 30-yard line.
Boy, I'm telling you, that gets frustrating for you defensively. If you have that coming at you downhill all of a sudden, and you allow him to get his shoulder square and get vertical with speed. Now, you step in front of him, he can sidestep you, make you miss, and hit the home run. And I'll tell you, he is running with tremendous rhythm right now.
Rice will take a breather. He's on the sideline. Single back, Brian Leonard.
Guess who? The big fella.
And here comes Thunder. And Thunder rumbles for another big gain. 7 yards on that carry. Well, Ray Rice, we talk about the fact that he's hanging out with some pretty tall cotton. These are the guys who are averaging more yards per game than him. Garrett Wolf, pretty good player at Northern Illinois. Steve Slayton, fantastic back at West Virginia. Adrian Peterson, what a season he was having before the collarbone injury.
Big injury, but right there, Ray Rice. And you talk about some pretty good football players when you're in that conversation.
Second down and 4. Rice back in the game. They toss it to him. This time, he's brought down after a nominal gain.
And he realizes it's tough to teach young backs that sometimes at a very young age. They want to break everything. They want to hit the home run every time, and you'll see them run to the sideline trying to turn up. He realizes on that play, there's not much outside. I'm just going to take what the defense gives me, and that takes usually 1 or 2 years. Ray Rice learned it as a freshman when he took over last season. He's just been outstanding.
Well, with 1:15 remaining first half, Greg Schiano takes a timeout. Big 3rd down and 2 when we come back. 3rd down and 2 after the timeout. The give goes to Ray Rice with that leg drive. Did he get enough? I think he did.
Well, I think he's proven that he's a good short yardage runner as well as can hit the home run. And we're making a point about young backs that come into college. When in high school, you can just turn and pitch it to them, and all you got to do is run. But then you get to college, a lot more responsibilities. You got to block, pick up things in pass protection. Took him a little while at the beginning of last season, but boy, he caught on fast.
Press set it down. Teal over the middle. No chance. Clark Harris is thumped. Good hit by Sam Bryant, the safety.
Yes, Sam Bryant will hit you if you go across the middle. Started the final 8 games of last season when Mike Phillips was injured, and you see him come into your screen here. Clark Harris kind of exposed a little bit. Might want to get that one down a little bit. He'll go back and tell Mike Teal, kind of bring that one down. Put my ribs at stake.
Teal has completed 7 passes for just 36 yards. They'll need him to win if they're going to get a touchdown in the final minute of this first half. Teal. This time, pass is complete to Harris. And he is out of bounds inside the 5. Big play.
Yeah, both teams going to the tight end in clutch situations, and they're 2nd down and long. And Clark Harris, one of the best in the entire country, everyone's preseason All-American list coming into the season. And Mike Teal right there relying on the big fella, went right back to him. And rewarded was Clark Harris for running a nice route, and you see the big soft hands of the big fella.
58 ticks remaining first half. Is the entire playbook open right now?
I go to Ray Rice. Give me some Ray Rice right now.
Rice with the football. Gets to the 2.
And I say that because they have frustrated Pittsburgh defensively with just being able to run the football. Now they're going to quick snap them and get them out of position, come right back with Ray Rice again.
Rice again. This time brought down for a loss. Good defensive play by Joe Claremont. the junior from Tampa.
Yeah, we're talking to the coaches. He works extremely hard every day, plays at game speed every day, something that you can't teach kids. And he was on the scout team basically all of last season and really stepped up his play and elevated his play, got himself into the starting lineup. And you see the type of player that he's capable of being.
Defensive coordinator Paul Rhodes says he's the best practice player he has ever seen.
Yeah.
That means something.
Absolutely. I mean, all of a sudden, it's not surprising to you when it's game time. You see him right here. He's going to make a play, fight off a block. All of a sudden, it's one-on-one with Ray Rice, and not a lot of defenders want that opportunity, but Joe Claremont steps up and makes a play right here in the backfield. A nice play once you get your hands on him, wrap, squeeze, and bring him down exactly how it's taught.
Claremont leads the team in tackles for losses. That's his 10th. It'll bring up a 3rd down and goal. Rutgers no longer has a timeout. 37 seconds remaining. What should Paul Rhodes be worried about as the defensive coordinator for Pitt?
The two guys in the backfield that we've been talking about all night, Ray Rice and Brian Leonard. And it's a clutch situation here for Rutgers, because if you run the football, no timeouts, you don't have a lot of time to get the field goal unit on. And I'm sure if that's the case, if they indeed want to run the football here with those two guys, they're going to run the field goal team on if they come up a little bit short and don't get in the end zone.
This is the 3rd time in the red zone for Rutgers. They've had to settle for 2 field goal attempts.
All right, they're going to pass the football here. This is definitely a passing situation once they go to that formation. You know what I like here? Quarterback draw. You got everybody spread out, and he hadn't run the football one time in this game. Get them all spread out. Take Leonard, split him out. Take Ray Rice, split him out. Now it's just you and nobody. 0 in the middle of the field. Nice time for a quarterback draw.
And another whistle. Going to slow things down.
Charge timeout, Pittsburgh. That is their first charge timeout of the first half.
And I'll tell you what, a good timeout on the part of Dave Wannstedt and his staff. And Greg Schiano wanted a quick snap Rutgers, and it looked like that's exactly what he wanted to do with Mike Teal. Was just a nice quarterback draw. If he comes up short, and you see Dave Wannstedt, he knows he's vulnerable in the middle of that formation. I'm thinking, even if you don't have the play call, if you're Mike Teal, check to it. You got linemen, bodies on bodies, and all I need is a little crease. And I'm at the 3-4 yard line to pop it in there. Nobody can catch me that fast. Even you can go down and run a quarterback.
Nah, I don't know about all that. All right, game of cat and mouse. If you're Greg Schiano working against Paul Rhodes' defense, do you change the call after this timeout?
Well, I'd certainly put somebody in the middle of the formation. Defensively, one of those linebackers, maybe you keep H.B. Blades inside to kind of allow for or stop the thought of running the quarterback draw, because I'm telling you, it's vulnerable right now. The way they formationed them, got everybody split out wide, and then all of a sudden, you got to make an adjustment to that. That's why Dave Wannstedt called that timeout.
And this is a huge play because Rutgers, they have dominated this entire first half. They don't want to go to the locker room just up 6-0.
No, and basically you hit the nail on the head. Dominated, and then coming back in the second half, you can't give up a touchdown right now if you're Pittsburgh.
All right, they've changed the formation. They now have Leonard, the single setback behind Teal.
And you see him creeping in the middle of the formation.
Touchdown. Did he hold on? Dennis Campbell had it and then dropped it. They're not going to give him the touchdown. Wipe it off.
Boy, what a nice route. But then he's going to just bobble it enough, put it on the ground, and then try to recover it. Oh, no, he may have gotten his hands under it. This one we may take a look at this one as well, because he bobbled it going down, and then his elbows were under the football, and when he rolled over, take a close look. It's going to come loose. He gets his elbows under it, and the only thing that cannot switch that is they say that the ground, he trapped the football. But, boy, that certainly looks like a catch in my eyes. Right here, it's going to come in. You see the ball come loose. His arms are under it. He gets the elbows underneath. I'm saying that's a touchdown. When you take a look at it, it's out. Boy, that's tough. That's tight. It looks like the right elbow, just enough of the football, may catch the ground after you see that angle. Oh, that's tough.
So the ruling on the field,
indisputable.
The ruling on the field was definitive, saying that it was no catch, and obviously they're looking at it just to make sure, but I'm not. That's going to be an incompletion. They don't have enough.
I don't think
video
there's enough evidence to overturn.
To turn that one over.
Looking at that last angle, and the official, you think about it, it was clearly out, and I'm sure that's what the line judge to that side was seeing. That right about here, the ball is clearly out, right there, and then all of a sudden, oh, what a nice camera angle. Oh, I don't know, Eric. Man, it looks like that right arm got under the football for a catch. It's like it's resting on his right forearm, and he gets just enough of it under the football for it to be a catch.
Now, bottom line, it shouldn't come down to splitting hairs right now. That was a catchable ball.
Yep, right in his hands, and just wrap that baby up. There's a lesson right there to be taught. Catch the football with your hands.
After review, the play stands as called. 4th down.
Not enough evidence, video evidence to warrant a reversal.
Well, the Pitt Panthers, they're dancing in the middle of traffic right now. They're playing with fire. They have been outplayed in all aspects of the game in the first half.
Still very much in this football game. When you get this crowd involved in it, do some fireworks in the second half.
Ito, a 50% kicker on the day. This one should be a chip chop, just 21 yards. And it is a 6-0 lead for the 19th-ranked Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
I'm going to go out on the limb. 6 points won't be enough. Field goals won't be enough.
3 times inside the red zone, and Rutgers with just 6 points to show for it. That'll stick in your craw when you go to the locker room. Redshirt freshman quarterback Matt Grothe has the South Florida Bulls up to a 5-2 start so far this season and in a hunt for a bowl bid. Sunday night, they take on the Cincinnati Bearcats. College football primetime is part of Sunday Showdown, presented by Alltel Wireless on ESPN at 8 Eastern Time.
Jim Levitt had that football team, the Bulls, playing very well down there in South Florida, so trying to get bowl eligible tonight.
Big East, not too many people were talking about how good it was going to be at the beginning of the year, but so far, halfway through the season, some pretty darn good teams. You talk about the top of that pack, Louisville, West Virginia, Pittsburgh, and Rutgers. They can go toe-to-toe with anyone in the entire country.
Well, not a conference anywhere that can boast to have 3 undefeated football teams, Louisville, West Virginia, and Rutgers. Right now in Pitt, only 1 loss, and we talked about South Florida at Cincinnati tonight. They can become bowl eligible with their 6th win, tomorrow night. Connecticut played some inspiring football last night against West Virginia.
And tipped the cap to the Syracuse Orange. They really gave Louisville a run for their money today. So 29 seconds remaining in the first half. Greg Schiano, Rutgers Scarlet Knights on top of the Pitt Panthers, 6-0. Lowell Robinson back deep to field this kick. And here comes the return, taking it 4 yards deep in the end zone. Robinson gets it out to about the 15-yard line. Why not? Take a chance.
Yeah, absolutely, bring it out and may pop one, and he ran one back last week, the opening kickoff, 97 yards for a touchdown, so I don't know if I'd kick to him. He squib it down there. I'd be a little afraid of Lowell Robinson. Now you look at that domination in time of possession, 17 minutes to 12, and the total yards as well. Plays, that's scoring opportunities right there when you equate those two. And right now, it's been all Rutgers in the first half of this football game.
Dave Wanstead has to be the happiest man in town. Looking at those numbers, he should be down big. But instead,
absolutely.
His team down by just 6 points as they go to the locker room. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights ranked in the top 20 for the first time since 1976. Looking good here in the first half. Their head coach, Greg Schiano, standing by with Janine. Janine, take it away.
Coach, you said that inside speed on defense would be critical. What else is helping you contain Palco right now?
Well, I don't know if we contained Palco. I mean, he broke contain twice for big plays. One time they had a penalty. Right now we're playing well, but we're making mistakes that are he's too good to make those mistakes against.
Well, what else do you need to see on offense?
Well, we're moving the ball. We got to put it in the end zone. I mean, if you put it in the end zone, we'd be in good shape right now.
Tough loss right here with that call.
Yeah, you're not kidding, but you got to catch it first, then you don't have to worry about a call.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Greg Schiano always level-headed. His team on top of Pitt, 6-0. Now let's join Linda Cohn and Trevor Matich for the Yamaha ATV Halftime Report.
Welcome to the Yamaha ATV Halftime Report.
Yard game here. Rutgers and Pitt. Ray Rice going to work, rushing for 85 yards. But you know what? Rutgers is only leading 6-0. Coming up, third quarter of our game here on ESPN2. Tyler Palko, the leader in passing efficiency, using his wheels, but his Pittsburgh team is down 6-0. For Tyler Matich, I'm Linda Cohn. Third quarter in a moment. Coming up, the third quarter of our game, Rutgers and Pitt. Willie Foster with a punt return, making some grounds, but 6-0 is the score for Trevor Matich. I'm Linda Cohn. See you later.
This halftime report brought to you by Yamaha ATVs. Ain't nothing tougher than a Yamaha.
Tumble Big East football for the first 30 minutes of play, and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights showing why they're ranked 19th in the country. They're on top of the Pitt Panthers by a score of 6-0. Now the Pitt Panthers, that's doing something. They average 37 points per game. They got a goose egg so far through the first half.
Yeah, it's been the story has been pressure on the part of Rutgers defensively, and you get Pitt into long yardage situations, third down and long. They're going to certainly bring pressure, but you see it here, just tremendous pressure from outside, inside of the formation, a lot of push up the middle on Tyler Palko, and you see just the speed of this Rutgers football team making plays and big hits as well to recover. Just frustrating Pittsburgh offensively all throughout this game, delivering the blows and really bringing this football game to Pittsburgh in the first half.
Greg Schiano, he is his own defensive coordinator. His team has the best scoring against average in the entire country. They allow just 8 points per game. Right now, they're on pace to better that.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, you have to be impressed with them because they wanted to lead in this football game so they could bring that type of pressure against Tyler Palko. They started bringing it before they had the lead, and then all of a sudden you find yourself trailing if you're Pittsburgh 6-0. I think you got to find a way on third down, especially third down, to protect Tyler Palko, maybe some max protection, keeping some guys in to allow him to throw the football to Derek Kinder and O'Derek Turner on the outside.
Jeremy Ito stubs his toe, kicks it out of bounds. That's no good. Good field position for the Pitt Panthers.
And probably their best field position of the night.
Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
That is the best starting field position for the Pitt Panthers. Janine, what's going on down in the field?
Well, I talked to Coach Dave Wanstead as they were coming back out onto the field, and I asked him, what did you say to the guys in the locker room? And he said to me very sarcastically, I told them, I am so excited right now that we are not down 28 points. And I'll finish after the play, guys.
Yeah, it could have been a whole heck of a lot worse. Just 6-0 the way they were dominated. Ball on the 35-yard line. Palko hands it off to Larod. Stevens Howling, who was quiet in the first half, but maybe not so here in the third quarter. 18-yard pickup. Courtney Green brought him down. Gene, what else did Wani say?
He said, as bad as we're playing, I cannot believe that we are only down by 6 points. He said the mistakes, the fumbles, the penalties. He said we're showing no composure, no focus right now. He told us that he was worried about the lack of experience and age, and he said, you know what? It's showing. We've got to do a better job.
Yeah, he challenged his football team and to get physical along with it, and right there coming out with a run on first down of this possession, first possession in the second half.
Stevens Howling with the ball again. This time nowhere to move. He's brought down. Good defensive play by the middle backer, Devron Thompson.
Yeah, he's a 4-year starter in the middle of that Rutgers defense. I'll tell you what, he's undersized but productive in the middle. Only 5'11", 220 pounds, and listen to that. That's helmet to shoulder pads right there, just the way you would teach it.
Tyler Palko just 4 for 9 throwing in the first half. Going to keep it himself. As his feet cut out from under him, but not before he picks up 7 yards. Manny Collins with the tackle.
And that way you take advantage of some aggression right there. A little play action pass, and you're going to bootleg Tyler Palko away from the pressure. Get the entire Rutgers team flowing to the right side of the formation, and then you bootleg Tyler Palko out with a run pass option. There he chooses to run. Might want to get down a little bit faster.
3rd down and 3. Panthers scuffled on 3rd downs in the first half, just 2 for 6. Palko over the middle, pass complete. Marcel Pestano with the catch, and that'll move the chain.
Well, I really liked him in pregame warm-ups. He moves around real well for a young receiver, but you're going to see him just come in on a slant route, nicely timed. Wait till the second window because Devon Thompson flashed in the first one. Wait till he clears, and right on time with the football is Tyler Palko. They actually keep Steve Buches in to max protect to make sure that Tyler Palko had enough time to throw the football.
Play fake. Palko steps up. He's going to keep it himself. This time he's caught from behind at about the 28-yard line.
Boy, this frustration settling in. You just kind of got to keep plugging away. You're moving the football, but you're under tremendous heat by the defense. And I'll tell you, he is usually he handles the pocket so well. When you watch him on film and he's got time, if things are going on around him, he can step up and make plays. The ball is always high and ready to come out. But I'll tell you, Rutgers doing a fabulous job of getting right in his face, creating some discomfort for Tyler Palko.
Deepest penetration of the game for the Panthers. Palko quickly gets it out. Complete to Kinder. And Kinder wrapped up and brought down. Good defensive play by Jason McCourty.
I'll tell you what, a good job of reading, because 2 times on the same exact play he's had the same result, and that's getting right in the face of the receiver. The first time it was outside to Derek Kinder, and then that time it flipped one out to the slot receiver. You got to play off the outside receiver's block and then rally up in outside-in support. And I'll tell you, a good job by Jason McCourty of playing the pass and then coming up making a for-sure tackle.
Officially a loss of 1. Brings up a 3rd and 7.
Well, they're showing that pressure again.
Palko under duress. Has to throw it away.
Well, what's amazing is that now Rutgers showing the pressure and then backing out, but still getting tremendous pressure up front by just the front 4 guys. Mickens, Eric Foster on that play. We've seen a bunch of other guys. William Beckford has been in a couple of times. Now all of a sudden you're turning it over to the defensive line, and they're tackling the football on the way to the quarterback.
They're going to attempt a field goal here. This is going to be a longish field goal. Call it a 46-yarder for Connor Lee. His long this season is 47. Looks straight enough, and it's long enough. So Connor Lee, the 46-yard field goal, gets the Panthers on the board.
Who'd have thought, coming into this football game, with Rutgers averaging 31 and Pitt averaging 37, that we'd have a field goal-a-thon going on.
All right, the Panthers get the ball first in the 3rd quarter. They score. What happens when the Rutgers Scarlet Knights get the ball? We'll find out. Well, finally something for the Pitt Panthers to cheer about. Best starting field position of the game results in their deepest penetration of the game and their first score. A little pooch kickoff. Kind of unique there. Not particularly good. I'm not sure that's exactly what they wanted to do. A pretty good field position for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, they're going to start with some pretty good field position of their own. So I tell you, he has done an outstanding job, Greg Schiano, of building this Rutgers program. Now all of a sudden, they're starting to get top-notch recruits. They go down to Florida, they recruit down there, and
Andre, what was that decision with that kickoff?
Oh, I'm question scratching my head as well. They're going to start the field or start this possession at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, so So Rutgers with the football, and they give it to their bell cow. Ray Rice had a solid first half. Picks up a couple of yards on first down before Clint Session tackles him. In the first half, Ray Rice, 17 carries, 85 yards, 5 yards per carry.
Originally signed or committed to go to Syracuse. Coaching staff changed, and then all of a sudden he rerouted himself to Rutgers. And Greg Schiano was the happiest man in the state when that happened.
Again, Rice with the carry. Going to bring up a third down and short. He got close to first down yards, but I believe he's about a whisker short. Pick up of 3. Well, Greg Schiano, just 40 years of age. These are already some of the things that he has accomplished. The earliest date in school history that the Rutgers Scarlet Knights have become bowl eligible. They're 6-0 for the first time since 1976. 2 shutouts already in the year. And they're ranked in the top 20 for the first time since 1976.
The facilities at Rutgers are second to none. It's outstanding, and which allows him to recruit well.
They give it again to Rice, and Rice slips down. I don't know if he got it.
I think so. I think he's going to have it. He's going to be just past the first down marker, and I don't even know if they need to measure this one. He falls right just over the 46-yard line right there. It's a kind spot to go along with it. Boy.
Well, Andre, there are athletes available should you be able to get them to come to your school in the New Jersey, New York area.
Yeah, a lot of those guys, though, were leaving the state, going to Penn State and other places, and now all of a sudden Rutgers has become an attractive place to go and play football, and that man is really taking advantage of some good facilities, some upgrades, and winning some football games will help you out as well.
Greg Schiano, he was the defensive coordinator down at Miami for a couple of years. And he had that cachet. He can go down to Florida and bring recruits up. They did that originally. In the first couple of years, they really harvested a lot of good talent out of South Florida. But nowadays, they don't need as much talent coming out of Florida.
They're going to be short. A little bit short, so it'll be decision time for Greg Schiano and this Rutgers football team. But you're right. I mean, they had a lot of players out of the Florida area. Felt like they could go down and get a lot of speed, skill position players, and now those guys are staying at home. Staying right at Rutgers. Cordell Young being one who was very highly recruited around the nation, one of the best all-purpose backs in the country. He chose to stay at home and play at Rutgers.
4th and inches, and they're going to punt it away. It's a good decision.
Yeah, because you're not past midfield. If they were over midfield, I'd say, hey, go for it. But I'll punt it away right here as well.
Bill Radigan averaged 47 yards per punt on 3 kicks in the first half. Booms this one inside the 15-yard line. The fair catch is made, and the ball will be spotted on the 13-yard line. A punt of 46 yards. Tyler Palco will go to work when we come back.
South.
Mike Ditka spent some time on the coaching staff of the Dallas Cowboys. Knows a thing or two about Cowboy football.
Yep. It's going to be a good football game. T.O. had a coming out party against the Texans a week ago Sunday. I'll tell you what, he seems on pace to really get things turned in the right direction.
Second possession of the second half for the Pitt Panthers. First go around, they got a field goal. Looking up top, Derek Kinder has the ball fly over his head. Incomplete, 2nd and 10. Manny Collins on the cover.
Yeah, and this is an area of the field in which Tyler Palco has been getting tremendous pressure. They had that average starting position. It was their own 13-yard line, and that's when he really saw a lot of pressure. But what it does is it creates the one-on-one matchups on the outside for the big guys, Derek Kinder and O'Derek Turner. And I think that's a guy they need to get involved in this football game. Tremendous leaping ability, and just throw one up, lob one to him. He was a state high jump champion on one side.
Stevens Howling with the carry. Nowhere to run.
No, they are just going to sell out on the run. And when you've had some success with the packages of pressure that Rutgers has had in place tonight, then all of a sudden you're tackling the runner. And you heard me mention it a couple of times, tackling the runner on the way to the quarterback. And then all of a sudden, if it's given, you tackle him. If not, if it's stuck in there, you continue on and bring the pressure to Tyler Palco. There, it was Eric Foster. We've seen Ramil Meekins, William Beckford, Jamal Westerman. Tremendous up front.
3rd and 9. Panthers trying to keep this drive alive. Palco throws a bullet complete to the tight end Bucus. That ball had some steam on it.
Yeah, he's the guy with the dependable hand, Steve Bucus, and what makes the play is the patience of Tyler Palco waiting his tight end out in zone coverage. There, a few times that Rutgers chose to go and just play strictly zone defense, all of a sudden Steve Bucus finds the hole, and Tyler Palco, you give him time, he'll surgically just undo you.
3rd and 9, they pick up 14. Palco changing things around at the line. Wants to throw. In the flat pass complete to Kinder. Pickup of 9.
Boy, he recognized that he was going to get pressure. More than likely had a run called here. A lot of guys in the box here. You see a lot of defenders. One-on-one coverage on the outsides, though. And now you have that matchup down low. And just win. All you're asking the receiver to do is give me a little bit of space and win. I'm going to deliver the football. And a good job by Tyler Palco.
Kinder now 3 catches, 33 yards. 2nd and short. We're going to go for a big play here. Stay conservative on the ground. Stevens Howling is going to be close.
I feel what you're thinking there. 2nd down and 1, and you take a shot. I agree with you totally. You line up, take the shot down the field, and you got 2 big speed guys that can go up and make a play. Formation them, make them think you're going to run the football, and there's just nothing to get to right here. Just you're talking a little guy going in against a very aggressive defensive line, and they won't bend.
You're going to measure, see if he got enough for the 1st down. You're taking a look at that defensive line for Rutgers. They're not big by any stretch of the imagination. They average just 256 pounds along that defensive line.
But they
1A football, that's not big.
And they are fast and they're strong and they know how to shed blocks. That's going to be just enough for the 1st down. Took them a while to decide, didn't it? Yeah. But, they know how to shed blocks, and they get into you, get rid of you, and if you get a lot of bodies, then it becomes really, really tough. 308 to 256.
Yeah, that's a 52-pound difference that they're giving up. They're doing pretty well so far.
They're hanging in. They're dominating the line of scrimmage. The defensive line, when you don't have to blitz and you get pressure with just the 4 linemen, amazing. The only time they got hurt was when they chose to just rush 3. Here comes the pressure again. Palco's got a slot receiver here in Derek Kinder where he can just go right to him immediately.
Palco didn't see the pressure and he goes down. That's the 3rd sack of the game for the Rutgers defense. Brandon Renkart is the man who got him that time.
Yeah, Brandon Renkart came up from his outside linebacker positioned himself here. You see the space right there between receiver and the next DB, and just raise up, give it to him, throw him a slant, an out route, or just pop him with the football. But you don't want to take shots like this, especially when you're turning your back to it.
That offensive line for Pitt, they've given up 5 sacks on the year coming into this game. Already 3 sacks of Palco this evening. 2nd and a bunch. They set up the screen to the fullback Collins. Snipped out. Manny Collins has had a good game coming up from this cornerback spot.
Well, you've called his name a few times, and we mentioned the fact Derek Roberson, the starting corner, left corner, is out tonight with a hamstring injury, and Manny Collins has stepped in and played some pretty good football. He was involved, interesting story, involved in an automobile accident about 2 years ago and was told he would never play again, and has stepped in, got himself back last season, and has played some pretty inspiring football. A former walk-on, a guy that just knows how to see adversity, fight it, and win, overcome it.
Manny Collins making the tackle of Conridge Collins. And a whistle before the snap. Timeout is going to be called Pitt Panthers want to make sure that they do something positive on this 3rd and 20. So a big decision for Dave Wanstead when he comes back. Well, 1976 was a very good year, especially for these two teams. We'll jump into the time machine when we come back. Get your disco shoes on. In 1976, the Concorde makes its first commercial flight. The Apple Computer Company is formed. Jimmy Carter defeats incumbent Gerald Ford for the presidency. Rocky, starring Sylvester Stallone, wins Best Picture. The Reds, Steelers, Celtics, and Canadians win their championships. Pittsburgh is college football's national champion, and Rutgers, they start at 6-0 and would finish undefeated. And as a side note, Rutgers with that 11-0, they were invited to the Independence Bowl. They declined.
Yep.
Didn't want to play in the Independence Bowl.
Just going to turn their backs on the Independence Bowl.
11-0, didn't go to the Independence Bowl. They stayed home for the holiday. All right.
We should be invited to something a little bit different.
3rd down and 20. Let's see what they have up their sleeve. Falco, plenty of time, not much rush. He's across the line of scrimmage. He's going to have to keep going. Nothing there. Tackle made by Eric Foster. And the punting team will have to come on.
And you just kind of got to keep your composure. You see him right there starting to show just a little bit of frustration with your body language because your teammates, as a quarterback, they read your body language. You start to panic, they're going to panic. Just kind of keep an even keel and just know it's only 6-3 and a lot of time left in this football game.
So Falco, his helmet on. He's got that haircut that was in vogue back in 1976. Short hair. He's got long hair this year in the senior season. Willie Foster, dangerous play, comes on and makes the catch at about the 29-yard line. Well, let's go back to the studio. Linda and Trevor.
Taco Bell takes us to Idaho. 3rd quarter, 21-17, Boise State. Ian Johnson adding to Boise State's lead. Why would a win be so big for Boise State, Trevor?
Boise 15th BCS now. If they finish 12th, they're guaranteed a BCS bid.
Eric, back to you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, Peach Poison still working. Chris Peterson now the head coach there, and all of a sudden, with the struggles at Colorado and the way Boise State's rolling,
Chris Peterson's looking better and better. All right, Scarlet Knights trying to protect a 3-point lead. 4.5 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Ray Rice, the back deep. He's got the football. And nothing doing. Clint Session wraps him up and brings him down.
Well, it may seem like nothing, but all of a sudden you're controlling the clock. Look at it already. Seems like we just started the 2nd half, and we're down at about 4 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. Rutgers, they don't need to pop big ones. Just manage the clock, get a couple of first downs. Right now, I guarantee you Greg Schiano would take 6-3 and get out of here. But we want to see more fireworks.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Expect it. 2nd down and 8. Britt, the man in motion. A quick pitch to Rice. And Rice hits that hole hard and gets close to the 1st down.
Boy, they do an excellent job up front. Pedro Sosa, the left tackle, pulling around and leading Ray Rice. Gets in the hole against H.B. Blades, and just enough of him. He doesn't really get gobbled up, but just enough of him to free Ray Rice and allow him to get into the line of scrimmage, those shoulder pads pointed up the field and accelerating through the hole.
Ray Rice on his 22nd carry has just gone over the century mark. He's now got 103 yards on the game. 3rd down and 1. They give it to Rice again, and he's got the 1st down. 3 straight carries for Ray Rice, which is nothing new. He is the man who's been dominating the carries in recent games for Rutgers, which wasn't the case when he first started a year ago. He wasn't getting the carries, but his backfield mate, fullback Brian Leonard, was.
In the first 3 games, he was a true freshman right out of high school, 11 carries a game, just kind of massaging him into the offense, and it was Leonard who had the bulk of the runs. Now it's Ray Rice. They've kind of swapped positions, but both unselfish players.
Brian Leonard, he is not had nearly as many opportunities as he used to have in his first 3 years. But he's got the ball now, and an opportunity down the left sideline. Brian Leonard, his best run of the game, and he's hit late out of bounds.
I'll tell you what, only 37 carries coming into this football game, but he makes the most of them, and he certainly did on that run. Had to break a tackle, showed you a little shiftiness, and this is why he was going to be a high pick last year had he come out as a junior. He just continues, in my eyes, to increase his stock. He blocks well, he's unselfish, catches the football out of the backfield, and then when you ask him to run the football, he can turn on a run like that and really electrify his football team. You know, and you get guys, they start to cheer for you. They want you to do well. Watch this. Nice little counter move, and then into the line of scrimmage. Shows you some hip.
The play was over. Personal foul.
Up the field.
Number 51 defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And that's going to be the late hit, which is kind of iffy. He's still running and trying to challenge and get yards down the sideline. Why not give him a shove out of bounds? And I don't agree with that one.
That makes a 21-yard run for Brian Leonard, a 36-yard pickup. Penalty call on H.B. Blades.
More importantly, we're running the football for success, not having to rely on Mike Teal to beat you with his arm.
Freshman Cordell Young to be back behind Leonard. Give it to Leonard. And this time he stood up.
H.B. Blades right there. Saw it, read the blocks of the defensive lineman, and then shot through there, and it was Brian Leonard and H.B. Blades right in the middle of the formation, and guess who wins? That young man. We'll give you a look at the two running backs tonight, Rice and Leonard. You see the difference in carries. But all that matters to Brian Leonard at the end of the night is a W on the scoreboard.
Rice back in the game, gets the carry. He's brought down at about the 22-yard line.
All right, good job by Clint Sessions, squeezing the play down inside and then allowing his fellow linebacking mate H.B. Blades to come up, make a play along with a couple of other defensive linemen. But he's had one heck of a ball game. Called his name a lot tonight. They are going to really have to step up here on third down. A big down for Pitt defensively. Bend but don't break. Win the small battles in this football game, and this would be a win for Pitt defensively if they're able to stop Rutgers and force them into a field goal type situation.
And Rutgers is going to have to call a timeout. Third down and 7, trying to get into the red zone, and they want to make sure that this play counts.
You know, he's called a couple down here. And when you get down inside the 20, especially in a tough, hard-fought football game like this, we've gone almost 3 quarters and the score 6-3. I would not have expected that when we left coming over to the stadium today. But it's that way, and Greg Schiano understands that in tough, close football games like this, every scoring opportunity is important. So now you want to make sure you have the right play called for this type of situation.
Well, with the timeout on the field, let's use this time to go to Janine, who is standing by with Pennsylvania high school football royalty.
Yeah, this is Bob Palco. He's Tyler Palco's dad, and he also happens to be the football coach at West Allegheny High. Grade Tyler's work thus far tonight.
You know what? As a coach, you don't grade till after the game. So
come on, give me a little work in progress here. What's he doing right so far?
You know what? I think he's he's making the proper reads, but they've got to be able. Again, it's a team game, so you can't talk about individual things. He's got to be able to keep making the right reads, and they got to make some plays offensively.
Okay, we'll come right back after this play.
Third down and 7.
Boy, one-on-one coverage up top. And that's what you look for if you're Mike Teal. One-on-one coverage at the top of the screen.
Teal looking at it. Throws underneath. Underwood, the first down and more. Goes out of bounds at the 6.
Number 7, Taquan Underwood.
Well, they crossed the outside receiver, which looked like Willie Foster, down and inside, and then drag Tyquan Underwood across the formation, get everybody flowing away from it, and then he's going to sneak into your picture right there as he crosses, showing the numbers to the quarterback. Nice touch on the football by Mike Teal, a nice catchable football, allowing Tyquan Underwood to pick up the first down and get himself out of bounds.
Underwood now with 4 catches. Rice, stuffed.
Well, Clint Session again.
Janine, send back to you.
And another question for Bob Palko. In what area has Tyler made the most progress from high school to college?
Physically, it's not even close. I mean, turn into a man, and and it's the mental part of the game. Just to be able to play under Coach Harris and now Coach Wannstedt, it's been phenomenal for him.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Janine. Well, it is white knuckle time for the Palko family. Pittsburgh needs a stop. Teal with time. Underwood, touchdown, Rutgers.
Boy, Tyquan Underwood, no pun intended, worked under the coverage and has gotten himself open for 2 big receptions. You'll see him again, just kind of it's zone coverage right there. He feels the pressure from HB Blades and stops and starts again once HB commits to taking him man-to-man. It's zone coverage, but with man principles, and once you feel it, you have to move as a receiver. Boy, does he do a good job of showing those numbers to the quarterback.
We have to wait until the final 18 seconds of the third quarter before we get the game's first touchdown. Ito, the extra point, and Rutgers now up 13-3, their largest lead of the game.
Boy, I tell you, heck of a second half for Tyquan Underwood, who's actually subbing in for Sean Tucker, their best receiver coming into this year, who's out with a broken ankle. And he has really stepped up, the sophomore from Notre Dame High School in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. Really playing well.
Well, our bag is bursting with Big East football. Sunday night, South Florida Bulls off to a 5-2 start. They are in a hunt for a bowl bid. They take on the Cincinnati Bearcats. College football primetime is part of Sunday Showdown, presented by Alltel Wireless on ESPN at 8 Eastern Time. College football lives here. Greg Schiano, now in his 6th season on the sideline with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. He's enjoying that drink of water.
Yeah,
right
absolutely. 6'3" was a little too close for comfort, and you can slug a little water down. That throat was a little tight when it was 6'3".
Well, they talked about the inexperience at the wide receiver spot that they have this year due to injury, but youngsters like Tyquan Underwood came through on that drive. 9 plays, 72 yards in the score.
And that's Sean Tucker, who's the big-time receiver. They lost a couple of weeks ago to a broken ankle. They get him back at the tail end of the season. Boy, they've really stepped up in his absence.
And Tucker's still traveling with the team in large part because of the leadership that he has.
Absolutely.
Skipping kick, picked up by Lowell Robinson. Touchdown a week ago against Central Florida. Good return this time. Gets it out close to the 35. So pretty good starting field position for the Pitt Panthers. They'll start at the 35-yard line.
They'll probably go ahead and get into the fourth quarter here once they blow the whistle. Clock's going to start under the new rules of change of possession. We'll get to the fourth quarter.
Clock's not running yet, but the Panthers are running off the field as the clock does now start to run, and that'll do it for quarter number 3. Tyler Palko able to get 3 points on the board in the third quarter. They'll need more than that in the fourth, and they're going to catch up to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Well, little bit of breathing room for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They're up 13-3. Just moments ago, a touchdown by Tyquan Underwood.
They're going to work an option route underneath to Tyquan Underwood. He feels the pressure and then stops and starts back. And right on time with the football is going to be Mike Teal right there. Frees it. He sees him right there into the end zone. Nice delivery of the football. And I'll tell you what, nice job of reading and the patience on the part of the quarterback, Mike Teal, as well.
Underwood, his third touchdown of the season. All right, Tyler Palko, the Panthers with the football. Good starting field position. Palko has a man complete to Kinder, and the junior from Albion, New York. Has a good gain out close to the 50-yard line. A pickup of 17.
What was the most important thing on that play? He put the football away. Did not turn it over. Good job. Now they've gone to no huddle, trying to up the tempo offensively.
Palko again has his man. This time Turner with the big gain down the left sideline.
Well, Derek Turner finds the soft spot in the zone between the corner and the safety. Two deep zone coverage. One of the weaknesses is outside the corner, and you cannot release inside. He takes that outside release. Palko waits him out, and then you've got to have a strong enough arm as a quarterback to throw a bullet between the corner and the safety.
Pickup of 20. Again, Palko to the skies, and again, pass is complete. Strong, still on his feet, down to the 10-yard line.
Well, now those big bodies are taking over, and they're match protecting for Tyler Palko, keeping guys in so that you get the man-to-man coverage, and all you need is a split second more because they can use body position to get themselves open. Darnell Strong, 6'5". O'Derek Turner, 6'3", using their bodies to get themselves open.
Palko just gashing this Rutgers defense. Pickup of 17, 20, and most recently 18 yards. Pass incomplete. Strong out of bounds.
One there. They got it. Made them get out of that blitz package in a hurry. All you got to do, a team that loves to blitz, hit them a couple of times for a few big plays, and you eliminate that the rest of the night. The problem with the offense from Matt Cavanaugh and Tyler Palko, they hadn't been able to figure out how to handle the pressure. Now all of a sudden you've got a package in place where you can pick it up. Rutgers, you kind of got them on their heels now. It's like, wait a minute, what we've had success doing is no longer working because they've made an adjustment.
They're going to run it. Stevens howling. Brought down after a gain of a couple. Quintero Frierson.
Well, he really jumps off the film at you with speed and shiftiness in the hole, and really fearless. We talked about it. Not a big guy, 5'7", 175 pounds. And he's running in the middle of that formation, and it's full speed. And he broke a couple last week against Central Florida where it just looked like he hiccuped and he was in the end zone.
What would work here on 3rd and goal?
I'd continue to throw the football. You got a big guy here and a lot of room on a corner route. Maybe send O'Derek Turner to the corner.
Looking the other way. Palko in trouble. Palko's got to get rid of it. Throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Oh my! O'Derek Turner with the grab.
Well, I tell you, this is a scramble drill at its finest. Because he went to the corner as we thought he might, and a lot of room was over there. Tyler Palko got flushed out of the pocket, but bought enough time to make an athletic play, and a good job by O'Derek Turner of working back for the quarterback and finding space along the back line.
Extra point, no problem. I guarantee you that was not the play that Matt Cavanaugh drew up.
Oh, no. That one kind of turns into just pure athletic ability and the scramble drill.
All right, catch your breath, everybody. The Pittsburgh Panthers back in this one. It's a 3-point game when we come back. The Panthers back in this game. Andre, make some sense of this play that we just saw.
Well, it just turned into a scramble drill. We thought that he may go to the corner here on a nice smash route. You see the flat and the corner route here, but then all of a sudden the pressure is on the corner to that side. Tyler Palko gets flushed out. Then all of a sudden Derek Turner sees him flushed out. He starts to move back to his left, to his right. Derek makes a move with him, showing the quarterback, I'm open. A nice athletic throw on the part of Tyler Palko. And if you don't know that name, Derek Turner, the son of Odessa Turner, the great New York Giants receiver and San Francisco 49ers receiver. I know him very well. We were at camp together in Minnesota one year. Proud of his son right now, I can guarantee you that.
Touchdown number 5 for O'Derrick. Oh, he's going to bring it out. Willie Foster, some hesitation. And if you hesitate, they'll make you pay. He's dropped at the 10-yard line.
Well, I tell you, all of a sudden, Pittsburgh starting to play some inspired football. And they're getting the crowd involved in this baby as well.
Janine, what's going on down in the field?
Eric and Andre, let me tell you, these Pittsburgh players are on their feet down here on the sideline. They are jumping up and down, clapping. I see a lot of smiling faces. They're pumping up the crowd. They're waving their arms and cheering. The excitement is contagious, and they feel like they are definitely back in this ball game and starting to take control.
Amazing what a big play will do.
It seems as if Pittsburgh's got the lead. Well, they go to the ground. Ray Rice trying to quiet this crowd, and he does! Open field in front of him! What kind of speed does he have? Oh, Rice caught from behind! Darrelle Revis with the touchdown-saving tackle, but not before a huge gain. 63 yards on the pickup.
And I'll tell you what, that kid, Darrelle Revis, is one of the best in the entire country, and he shows why a lot of scouts love him as a cornerback, because he's got speed to go track down Ray Rice. Not a lot of people in college football could do that. I mean, an excellent open field tackle, and he is to the house if Darrelle Revis doesn't get his hands on him. But what an answer right there. That will put some, you know, to the crowd. Just kind of put that finger over the lips. Just be quiet.
Rice getting a well-deserved blow on the sideline. They go to Thunder. And Brian Leonard picks up a couple before he's tripped up.
Boy, what an answer, though. I'm telling you, and Matt Cavanaugh, give him some credit on that drive, the touchdown pass from Palko to Turner, of changing the pace offensively, because they came up, no huddle, didn't allow Rutgers to just tee off and disguise and come at them. Once you get to the line of scrimmage, you have to show what you're going to do defensively right away and not disguise and come at you from different angles. Give him some credit on that drive for adjusting offensively.
Second down at 7. Rice back in the game. And the sophomore with the ball, with the first down. With another big gain inside the 5, and a flag comes down late. Mike Phillips on the touchdown-saving tackle. Pickup of 21 yards. This Rice kid's something special.
Face mask. Number 10, defense. The penalty will be half the distance to the goal line from the end of the run. First down.
All right, running backs get a lot of credit, but sometimes it flies under the radar, the job that the offensive line does. Watch Mike Fladell right there. The left tackle and the left guard, Pedro Sosa. They just basically shut down the edge of the line of scrimmage and allows Ray Rice to get up the field and around the corner, and just enough of the face mask to draw the penalty, and all of a sudden Rutgers going to answer that touchdown drive of Pittsburgh with points of their own.
Leonard in motion. They give to Rice. Tries the right side. Oh, he's got some power.
Yes.
He gets into the end zone. And how about that? Touchdown number 12 on the year for Ray Rice.
Yeah, and started basically with their worst field position of the night. And Ray Rice breaks a big one for a long run and then finishes it off with a nice little touchdown run to go along with it. And there, leading his guy in the hole, Brian Leonard, the most unselfish player in the entire country.
Jeremy Ito trying to double the pleasure for Rutgers, trying to make it a 10-point lead. No worries. How about that? Taking a punch and giving a punch right back.
Heavyweight fight.
Ray Rice, there's a reason why he is the Lightning or the Scarlet Knights. Ray Rice got a hero's welcome on that bench, and why not? He accounted for 85 yards on that drive alone. 3 rushes, 85 yards. A 63-yard rush to get him down in scoring position, and then he capped it off with a 1-yard touchdown run. And Rutgers back up by 10.
What an answer, though. I mean, you have to answer a scoring drive like that, and he created some momentum and excitement along the sideline of Pittsburgh, and the fans got involved, and then Ray Rice put that finger over the lips and told him to be quiet.
He's got a $194 so far in the game. He is looking right in the face of another 200-yard gain. Lowell Robinson gets out to the 20-yard line, and that's where the Panthers will start off on offense. Back to the studio we go. Linda and Trevor.
On ESPNU, Virginia Tech taking on Southern Miss. Sean Glennon of the Hokies. 38-yard touchdown to Josh Morgan. 19-6 Virginia Tech at the half. That's not all that's taking place at Pullman. Oregon loses. A surprise, Trevor.
Well, clutch performance by the Cougar defense. Oregon got their yards, but they didn't score a touchdown until the fourth quarter.
Eric?
Thank you so much, guys. Well, Oregon.
Surprise.
Jeez. That's a definition of stubbing your toe. Palco under pressure. Throws it away, and he's going to get caught for it. Yep. He was in the grasp of Eric Foster, and they're going to get him called for intentionally grounding.
And that's a play he stayed away from for a while. And he's just trying to work within the system and not really trying to go out on his own. And you see the frustration building just a little bit by the senior quarterback.
Intentional grounding. Number 3 offense. By rule, the ball would be placed at the spot of the pass with loss of down.
Remember I told you, you can't lose your composure as a quarterback. Got to keep it even keel because everybody on that entire field is watching his body language right now.
Sure hope you're enjoying it as much as we are. We're here at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Rutgers ranked 19th, taking on the Pitt Panthers with Andre Ware alongside Janine Edwards. I'm Eric Collins. It has been nip and tuck in this game. Right now, Rutgers with a 10-point lead. They just answered a good touchdown drive by the Pitt Panthers with one of their own.
And they're showing pressure again.
Oh, dangerous pass. They set up the middle screen. Stevens howling.
Well, it's a good answer, though, because you got an aggressive defense, and all of a sudden you get pressure. All you got to do is find a way to complete that pass, and you're going to bust it for a big one. He almost comes out. But look at the rush yards, just totally dominated. First half, 102 to 27, and then 133 to just 31 yards. And when we talked to Dave Wannstedt yesterday, he talked about running the football and wanted to run it, knew he had to against this Rutgers football team, but just dominated.
Yeah, Leonard and Rice, there they are together on that bench. They've been as advertised. 3rd and 17. Panthers need to get to the 30. And before the ball is snapped, a whistle.
Prior to the snap, delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Oh, when it goes bad, it goes bad. And Derek Turner on the outside. You see frustration starting to set in. Watching that clock tick down.
Last drive, they were so successful going to that hurry up and calling plays at the line.
Stay in it. You know, I always like that you huddle at the line of scrimmage, you get the defense where you want them, or you can quick snap them if you need to. They went back to the huddle, and Rutgers bringing pressure again.
Malco. He's going to run it. He's got a ways to go. And he is brought down at the 25-yard line, well short of first down yards.
Well,
he's going to bring up a 4th down, but I'm not sure what Tyler Palco, I don't think he realizes it. They're not going to go for it, are they?
Actually, they're trying to quick snap Rutgers in this situation.
4th down and 5. They need to get to the 30. And now the punt team comes on for Pitt.
I'm sure Tyler Palco knew the down and distance because he's trying to get to the line of scrimmage and didn't realize it. But with 9 minutes left, certainly you want to punt this football in this situation.
Play clock is not moving at all. Play clock is still at 25 seconds.
Graciano wants some answers.
Now, the game clock was definitely winding down, but the play clock did not go with it.
The play clock correction, the game clock operator put 9:14 on the clock.
He wants an answer, and I don't blame him. I don't see how it stops on a run. It's got to continue.
I think he was worried about the fact that the play clock wasn't going down. Pitt was kind of dilly-dallying around at the line of scrimmage, and they were running out of time. They should have run out of time in the play clock.
I don't want to talk about it, but it should have still been running, no matter what. You know, who's hurrying up, and the chains didn't move. Just the down marker moved, which doesn't merit the clock being stopped because it was not a first down. Clearly wasn't a first down. And we're at 4th and 5, and this clock should have still been moving. Well, he explained it to Greg Schiano. Now he's got to go over to explain it to Dave Wannstedt. It's only fair.
And Dave's not taking the news nearly as fast.
Yeah, he needs some good news on that sideline. Boy, just when you think you're getting back in the football game and things are taking a turn for the better, Ray Rice breaks that big run, and this place got quiet all over again.
Wrestled, punted away. Good kick, high spiral. Foster muffs the football, but is able to fall on top of it. Oh, he caught a break. 8:57 remaining in this game. Rutgers on top by 10. Janine, a couple of moments ago, you told us how excited that Pitt sideline was. What's it like now?
Oh, you got that right, Eric. Boy, what a difference a play makes. I can only describe the Pittsburgh bench two ways. Quiet and no expression on their faces. Huge difference.
Yeah.
But Andre, I guess as a quarterback, every guy would love to have a Ray Rice on his team.
Absolutely. When you can turn around and take the pressure off and just hand it to Ray Rice, and the result is what he gives you that last drive. Boy, that certainly eases the pressure.
Ray Rice is the back behind Mike Teal. Fullback Brian Leonard. They give it to Rice. Looking for 200 yards on the game, and he may have it.
Well, we may be witnessing one of the best backs in the country, and he's just a sophomore. And I'll tell you what, he's going to own a lot of records at Rutgers by the time he leaves. Just a fabulous football player. 200 yards tonight. He's adjusted very well to the speed of the collegiate game.
3 200-yard games on the season for Rice against North Carolina, South Florida, and now a rugged Pitt defense. This time the senior Leonard. Leonard brought down short of the first down. Tackle made by Bennett.
What impresses you with them is both guys run smart with the football. They get in crowded areas. You see them put both hands on the football. If it's not there, they're not trying to force it and bounce everything. They take what's given. They read the offensive line extremely well. And just keep in mind, Ray Rice last week, Navy crowded the line of scrimmage. He was held to just 92 yards rushing. Tonight, 200.
As a team, Rutgers with 243 yards on the ground. Teal play action. Has his tight end pass too high.
Well, he's had him a couple of different occasions, and each time he's been high with the football, had him along the sideline and hit him on a completion, but boy, he has him wide open. You look at it, he's going to come right in the middle of the screen, working towards the middle, and just bring that football down and keep him away from Mike Phillips, the free safety, and you got yourself a play.
Well, Harris just got whacked trying to make that catch, and now he'll have to long snap it to the punter, Joe Radigan. Good snap. Radigan. Darrell Revis. And Revis slips a couple of tackles. Good return, gets it out to the 36-yard line. 41-yard punt, 14-yard return. Good field position for the Pitt Panthers. They trail by 10. Plenty of time, but they need to get moving now. Welcome back, everyone, to Heinz Field here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Tyler Palco. Let's see what is up the senior's sleeve on this very important drive.
I think they got to go back to that tempo where they had the scoring drive and just get themselves in a rhythm here offensively.
First down, they go to the skies. Kinder with the catch. Pickup of 8 yards.
And get right to the football. Don't allow Rutgers to make any adjustments in the defensive scheme, and keep them right where you want them. You can formation yourself into the plays that you like and keep this pace a little bit faster.
Second half has been much more productive for Palco than the first. Low snap. Get it to Stevens. Howling. His best run of the game. Inside the 40-yard line to the 39.
As a coach, you kind of thump yourself on the head and say, why didn't I do this earlier in the football game? Go to the no huddle, keep them formationed out, keep them away from him, and now you take away their ability to disguise when they're going to bring pressure. You got to clear it up a lot faster.
Again, they call the play at the line, and this time doesn't work so well. Palco brought down by Jamal Westerman.
Well, they have played outstanding along that defensive front. All 4 guys have played well. Meekins, Beckford, Foster, and Westerman now getting in on the action.
That's the 5th sack of the game by Rutgers. Palco in trouble. Throws it up for grabs out of bounds.
Well, you talk about fighting and scratching. Right now, Tyler Palco trying all he can to keep his composure. 5 sacks tonight. They'd only allowed 10 in 8 games. And I'll tell you what, Rutgers had 7 last week against Navy.
Yeah, break that down. They had given up 5 sacks coming into this game. They've given 5 up right now. So they doubled their total in one game because of that good offensive, good defensive line of Rutgers. 3rd and 17. Need to get a bunch.
Here they come again.
Palco over the middle. Pass complete. Not enough for a first down, but Kinder gets it close enough where 4th down is going to be manageable.
And I think you got to go for it here. You have to go for it. The time is not on your side. You're down 2 scores, and you have to make the most of when you have the football. So stay in attack mode if you're Matt Cavanaugh in this Pitt offense.
And a whistle blows. Timeout. Rutgers wants to make the most of this play.
And Greg Schiano wanted to see the formation, then took the timeout to try to get the best defense called in that situation. We saw him play zone defense when it was 3rd down and long, and they got hit with it. There they tried to come with a little pressure, and Derek Kinder works himself open against man-to-man coverage.
Yeah, with more on Derek Kinder, let's go to Janine. Janine, what do you have?
Yeah, Eric and Andre, it's easy to see why Tyler Palco looks for Kinder. You know, they say he's been the big surprise of the team this year. Receiving was not his forte, but he now leads the Big East in receiving yards per game and total yards. He was actually a running back in high school, but he was put in as a receiver last year when somebody got hurt. And Matt Cavanaugh told us he's turned into the Tyler Palco of the receivers. He's got a strong desire to get the ball. Every day he gets better, and he says, thank goodness he's got another season here.
Yeah, and his very first catch as a freshman out of high school went for a touchdown against Notre Dame. So he's pretty much a natural, and I think they found a position. No more running back. He's going to settle in at wide receiver and be a pretty good one.
There's Matt Cavanaugh. He was the quarterback in 1976 of this Pitt Panther team when they won the national championship. For the most part, riding the back of the great A.D., Tony Dorsett.
It's always good to have a guy that's good that you can turn around and give a football to. And Tony Dorsett is certainly one.
4th and 4. Palco. Pass incomplete. Panthers looking for flags. There are none. Manny Collins, good defense to knock the ball away.
What a heck of a job. A guy that had to step in for Derek Roberson, who was the starter at left corner, matched up in the slot and trying to go to Derek Kinder again, and right there just underneath it gets a big hand in there, just enough to knock that football out. Well thrown football, but better played on the part of Manny Collins.
Did you like that play?
I like the call. You just got to get some separation, and you get into a guy and you can't allow him to come underneath you. You got to work back downhill almost towards the quarterback to keep that separation away in man-to-man. You think some people can just square it off and you get the separation? No, you got to come back and work downhill. That creates just enough room to complete that pass.
So now Rutgers will try and burn some clock, and they got a good man to do it with. Ray Rice the carry.
Well, remember, we talked about scoring offense, Pitt being 8th in the nation, and Rutgers scoring defense 1st in the nation. Well, Rutgers has certainly come out on top of that. They've given up 10 points, but, you know, a little bit more than their average. But they'll take a win and give up the 2 points over the average any day.
Timeout called by Dave Wanstedt and the Pitt Panthers. They have just 1 remaining.
Now, their lowest output of the year, Pittsburgh, at 10 points this season.
Well, folks, this is a very big game early in the Big East Conference season. Right now, Rutgers trying to keep up with the Joneses. They want to stay undefeated, not only on the season, but in Big East Conference play. They're going up against teams like Louisville. They've yet to lose. West Virginia, they've yet to lose. In conference, the Pitt Panthers, they have yet to lose. So there were 4 unbeatens coming into today's play, but there will be only 3 after this game is done today, because either Rutgers or Pitt, they're going to have some disappointment if they don't win this game.
Well, you look at a team like Rutgers. I mean, they're a complete football team. They can get you on special teams. They've played well enough defensively. I think they've answered all the questions defensively. And then if you say, well, they're just a running football team, look what they did last week against Navy. Mike Teal took it on his shoulders and threw 3 touchdown passes to defeat a good Navy football team. So they can get you in all 3 aspects of the game.
2nd down and 7. They stay on the ground, and Rice close to 1st down yard.
Well, that's when you know the coach has a lot of confidence in you. Late in the football game, and he's giving the football to Ray Rice, a young player, you know, not with a whole lot of experience, started tail end of last season and then get carried over into this year, but a lot of confidence by this coaching staff just putting the football in his hands. Let's ride his back all the way through tonight.
Do you get cute on 3rd and 1?
No way. Just, you know, you've been eating rice all night. You might as well keep eating rice. Put a little butter and some sugar on it and mix it up, baby.
3rd and 1. Handoff. And they're going to get the 1st down.
Well, he's running, just determined. I mean, you know, there's a lot of guys that have success, but you see the determination, especially. It's a sense of urgency when it's 3rd down and short. When he was down near the goal line, you talk about the ability to break tackles and how strong he was. He just inflicting his will on Pittsburgh's defense right now. And Ray Rice, an outstanding night tonight.
Yeah, history made tonight for the sophomore from New Rochelle. That's his 4th career 200-yard game. He's got a little bit more of a career to play.
I got a feeling we're going to watch a couple more of those. A few more 200-yard nights for Ray Rice.
Kenny Britt, the man in motion. And Rice, pick up of a couple of yards. Clock continues to move. Well, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights trying to keep up with these other teams and remain undefeated. Coming into today, 7 unbeatens. Does Rutgers deserve to be in the same category with these schools?
Well, I think so. I mean, they've got, look at the record. It's all zeros at the end of it. And I think they've answered a lot of questions. Just talking about it, whether or not they were good enough defensively against the #1 rated pass efficiency leader in the country. They came in and basically had their way tonight on defense, and they've got enough on offense to stay with anybody.
In case you're wondering, this is what is ahead for Greg Schiano and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Next Sunday, they'll be back at home, playing a game in Piscataway, taking on the Connecticut Huskies. Then they'll play on Thursday night, November 9th, against Louisville. That'll be a big game, but it'll be played in New Jersey. Then it's a game November 18th against Cincinnati, against Syracuse November 25th, and then some time to gear up for a game against the Mountaineers of West Virginia December 2nd.
And they're going to get Louisville coming off a West Virginia game. I think that happens on the 2nd of November, which is a highly anticipated Big East matchup. I'll tell you, if I'm sitting watching Rutgers tonight, if I'm any one of those 2 teams, West Virginia or Louisville, I'm a little concerned.
And they should. This is a tough team. They got a dominating tailback in Ray Rice, who continues to roll.
Continues to get downhill. And the thing about him is all night long, he hadn't been stopped. When you allow a running back of his caliber to catch a football and get north and south at full speed without having to pitter-patter in the backfield, all of us, he's going to have the success, because anytime he hits you or is into the line of scrimmage, the pile is going in his direction. So that's the kind of runner he is, and he runs with good power and body lean to go with it.
This is a huge play here. The Pitt Panthers have no more timeouts. A first down here, and it could be Katie bar the door.
Yeah. Not a lot of time left.
And Rutgers uses a timeout to make sure they have the proper play call. Both teams out of timeouts, so the remaining 2:37.
Here's a Ray Rice package for you, and it, just keep in mind, it doesn't have to. He's not looking to break them all the time. Just following blocks when the big plays happen. He certainly takes advantage of it, but he can get you the tough yards, and is a tough runner that gets better as the game progresses, and none more than when he broke the big one in the fourth quarter of this one. Just amazing. And here it is right here, coming right into your living room. Ray Rice. And then the follow-up, the touchdown at the end of that nice long run. Tough runs inside, can show you he can do it in a lot of different ways.
And he will be happy that we cut off that long run and didn't show him getting caught from behind.
He's a little tired. I can remember a pretty good one that they got caught from behind a few times. They wore number 20 and ran for the Lions. But you run out of gas a little bit every once in a while when you're carrying and you're getting tough yards like he has tonight.
And Barry Sanders, he can caught from behind every once in a while.
You run for 219, you're allowed to get caught from behind every once in a while.
It is a new career high for the sophomore Ray Rice. His previous career high was 217 against the Connecticut Huskies a year ago. All right, 3rd down and 2. Again, Rice with the football and Rice with the first down.
You see the determination. And all of a sudden, I mean, his will to get to the first down marker. And he's tired. You got to be tired. You've carried the football that many times. You've got that many yards. It's starting to wear on your body. But then he is bringing it to the defense in short yardage situations.
Well, with that first down, now that Pittsburgh has 0 timeouts, unless there's a colossal blunder, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, they're going to improve to 7-0 on the year and 2-0 in conference play. Once again, time off the clock.
Yeah. And they're getting positive yards. Just running the football, lining up 2 tights. And getting Ray Rice downhill, following Brian Leonard, his big fullback, into the hole. And boy, they complement one another so well. And you got to be 2 unselfish guys to have the type of success that they're having, because Brian Leonard was talked about by everybody. Heisman campaign, everything going on. Then all of a sudden, he's kind of giving way to Ray Rice and the success that he's having. And you got to take your hat off to a young man like that.
And again, Rice carries the man. Well, let's switch gears. The Pitt Panthers, they're going to drop their 2nd game on the year. Their 4-game winning streak is going to come to a close. Have you seen enough out of Pitt where you think that they would possibly be able to give West Virginia and Louisville run for their money when they take them on later this season?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. They better gear up, because South Florida, they got to go there. And they need to gear up for that one first and foremost before they start looking down the road and messing around with West Virginia and Louisville. But, yeah, I think they can pick the pieces up and ride the rest of this season out and have a successful season and go on to a nice bowl game. They just got to do it in a hurry.
They will have West Virginia and Louisville here at Heinz Field, so at least somewhat of an advantage for the Pitt Panthers, you would assume. And another carry for Ray Rice. That man, he's gonna enjoy the ride back to Piscataway. He's gonna sleep on that bus. Uh-oh, this is trouble right here.
That is trouble a brewing. 105 in the NCAA against the run, and you got Ray Rice and Brian Leonard coming to town.
Rutgers will have to run one more play before this one goes final.
Get that lasso ready right now. Start warming up that arm with the lasso, trying to corral these two.
Woo. Is Rice the best back you've seen all year?
Yes, absolutely. We've seen him twice this season live, and seen a couple of highlight reels to go along with it. He is a tremendous runner.
And you have a vote. Is there anything he could do the rest of the way to possibly get your Heisman vote?
He's already got my attention. Absolutely. And he's on the radar. And, you know, I get into that full-fledged at about November, the first week in November. And now it's just kind of guys that you talk about, but then you really start to consider the top 2, 3, 4 guys in the month of November, and you start to really kind of push everybody else aside and focus in on those guys. He's one right now that's really shown up on the radar.
Rutgers will try and keep this going for the remaining part of the game there. Possession's going to change over and not in time. It's going to be over. Final score 20-10. Greg Schiano and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, they double their pleasure over their rival, the Pitt Panthers.
Oh, what a well-coached football game by Greg Schiano and his coaching staff. Defensively, I thought they had played their best game this year. And just one heck of a game plan coming in here to run the football as well as control it with defense.
Now to come into this difficult place to play in Heinz Field with a big crowd and to have a dominating performance on the ground. Just take it right up the gut and be able to perform between the tackles. Impressive.
Yeah, and that's the most frustrating thing for a defense is when you can't stop the run, boy, you are just rendered helpless in a football game, and that's exactly what happened tonight.
Now Janine is standing by with the happy head coach, Greg Schiano. Janine, take it away.
Congratulations, Coach. Considering Pittsburgh's record on offense coming in, how pleased are you with your defensive performance this evening?
I thought the kids played very well. They really did the things we asked them to do. That's a great quarterback and a real good football team.
What about your quarterback? Grade his performance tonight.
I thought he did a good job. He ran the show the way we want him to, just the way we want him to.
Tell me about the contribution of Ray Rice and what he means to your offensive schemes right now.
Special back. He and Brian. We got 2 special backs, so we're very proud of him.
What's it like for you, considering how far you've come with this program to now be 7-0?
It's a good feeling, but we got a lot of work to do. We got Connecticut now.
Okay, looking forward to the next one. Thanks, Coach.
Janine, thank you so much. Andre, we've been talking about it a lot. Quick final thoughts on what we just saw.
Just a very well-coached football team in all aspects, special teams, defensively. Rutgers going to be a force to be reckoned with coming down the stretch of this college football season.
Ray Rice, 39 carries, 220 yards, and a touchdown. Our final score, the Scarlet Knights, they take down the Panthers 20-10. For Andre Ware, Janine Edwards, and the rest of our ESPN2 HD crew, I'm Eric Collins saying so long from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now let's go to the studio and join Linda and Trevor.
Welcome to the official BCS rating show, presented by KFC's Famous Bowls.
You see sometimes a Hail Mary play, and this was definitely a Hail Mary play.
Another wild Saturday has come and gone.
That's the final drive of the game.
Ohio State and Michigan appear locked and loaded for the November showdown. But will they be 1-2 when they meet? Did the Mountaineers do enough to leapfrog Auburn in the standings? We hook up with head coach and West Virginia native, Rich Rodriguez. Irish eyes were smiling in South Bend while Texas dodged a bullet and rode their Colt to victory. But was it too close for comfort in the eyes of the BCS? And Friday, Coach and Petros only agreed on one game. Who did the best?
I wanted that.
Find out next on the official BCS rating show. Fantastic finish Saturday. Wild finishes all over the country. Texas escapes. Notre Dame wakes up the echoes in a big way. Tennessee staves off the Tide. And Cal overcomes a Hail Mary to win in overtime. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the official BCS rating show. I'm Tom Helmer. I'm joined by Gary Barnett, who led Northwestern to a Big Ten title, and the University of Colorado to 4 Big 12 North titles. Also joined by Petros Papadakis, former USC running back who led the Trojans for 2 years in touchdowns scored. We're going to hear plenty from these guys over the next 30 minutes. But first things first, let's get to the latest BCS rankings brought to you by KFC. Ohio State remains #1, no surprise there, as they made Indiana look like a basketball university. 44-3, Troy Smith solidified his position as the Heisman frontrunner, 4 touchdowns to 4 different wide receivers. Meanwhile, Michigan had its hands full with Iowa for the first 3 quarters, but put them away in the 4th. They are #2 right now in the rankings. So here's the rest of the top 5. USC had a bye this week. They dropped to 3. Oregon State is next up for them. West Virginia has moved up to 4, pushing Auburn back to 5. And, Coach, as we look at the top 5 there, any surprises for you there?
Well, yeah, Tom, I'm surprised that everything jumped so fast. USC being moved back, Michigan going up. I was surprised to see West Virginia vault in front of Auburn. I thought maybe, or wondered if it was going to happen later on. Didn't know if it would happen this early. So I'm a little surprised that the voters were willing to make this change so quick at this point in time.
This is exactly the way it should look. I mean, Michigan has 2 more wins than USC. USC had a bye. Michigan won a tough game. These are league games, and the games get tougher and tougher in October. I'm fine with that flip-flop, even though you might think I'm not. And last week we sat here, and I yelled and screamed about Auburn not belonging in front of West Virginia. West Virginia getting some respect. They should be at number 4. Maybe Louisville should be at number 5 and kick Auburn back to 6 through 10, because I like this West Virginia team. And I like the Big East. I think they're going to start getting more and more respect. I think the top 5 looks exactly as it should.
And it's all getting sorted out. Time to bring in the one and only Jerry Palm. Perhaps nobody knows the way the BCS works better than Jerry. He predicted that West Virginia would leapfrog Auburn. Now he gives us the inside scoop on the top 5.
The big story in the top 5 this week, Tom, is that Michigan slides just ahead of Southern Cal for the number 2 spot. But Southern Cal fans shouldn't panic because, first of all, Ohio State and Michigan are going to play each other. But also, Southern Cal is suffering a little bit in the computers this week. Michigan moved up based on the strength of a win over Iowa. Southern Cal's got the meat of their schedule ahead of them, and the next 3 Michigan opponents are pretty bad. Southern Cal will separate themselves in the computer again. West Virginia at number 4 is really hoping 2 of those top 3 teams lose so that they can try and slide into the national championship.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Either Ohio State or Michigan is going to probably be in Glendale on January 8th, maybe both. But it's more likely that one of these teams will be joining them. That's USC or West Virginia. Here's a look at their key games left. USC has 3 remaining games against ranked opponents, then their hated rival to the west, the UCLA Bruins. Pretty much like a home game since they split the tickets in the Rose Bowl. Notre Dame's victory over UCLA actually helps USC right now. West Virginia has Rutgers, Louisville, and their own rival in Pitt. And Petros, as you look at those 2 teams, we don't know if either one of those 2 teams is going to be there. But one thing's for sure, they both have a tough road.
They do have a tough road, and it's not going to be easy because the Big East is a lot more difficult than anybody thought it was going to be as the season began. Nobody saw Rutgers coming, and I love this kid, Ray Rice. We'll talk about him. We've been talking about Rutgers more than I ever thought we'd be talking about Rutgers. West Virginia is an explosive and great football team. Louisville is not as sexy as they were when the season began. Why? Because Michael Bush is hurt, and he was their probably best player and most explosive and exciting player to watch. But they're going to have that game. It's going to be a Thursday night. It's going to be on national television. West Virginia is going to take on Louisville. Everybody's going to be watching, and that is really like the prom or the ball, if you will, you know, like the debutante ball for the Big East. And everybody's going to be watching. There's not going to be any World Series on, and that's going to be the coming out party for the Big East. Whoever comes out of that game still going to have to deal with Rutgers, but it's going to be a great game to watch, and it's going to be a big thing for the Big East.
Coach, the nice thing for USC and West Virginia is either Michigan or Ohio State's going to lose. It puts both those schools in a good position.
Well, it does, and you know, it's interesting to see the way the schedules play out because Michigan, Ohio State, Auburn, they all have a little easier schedule. Now, of course, Michigan and Ohio State have to play each other, but to get to that point is pretty easy. Then you look at the other schools, and you look at SC, you look at West Virginia, you look at Louisville, and they've all got a really difficult way to go.
Right.
And you know, it's just the luck of the draw, the way the schedule comes out, but it's 2 different tales there.
Yeah, definitely backloaded for both schools. They've got their work cut out. We've dissected 1 through 5. Time to get to the rest of the top 10. Any one of these teams can be in the national title hunt with a little help. Louisville and Notre Dame drop. Texas moves up 1. Cal rounding out the top 10 there. So as you look at through there, Louisville undefeated, but they actually move backwards, Petros.
Well, again, they're not as fun to watch as they were at the beginning of the season. There's not a lot of eyes on them, but there will be when they take on West Virginia. Now, this is going to be a huge game, and no one thought the Big East was going to be this good. But still, the best teams in the country are in the Pac-10 right now and the Big Ten. I don't want to hear anything about the SEC. I don't want to hear anything about the Big 12. Right now, it's all about the Pac-10 with USC and Cal creeping on them. That's a big game, November 18th. And, of course, Ohio State, Michigan. I mean, nobody can wait for that one.
No, that's going to be a huge one for sure. Once again, Jerry Palm joins us. Jerry, many of these teams escaped with their lives Saturday. Which one of these teams can make the most noise if they get the help they need?
Well, Texas has moved up a little bit this week, as we thought they might. As they played Nebraska, their computer rankings got a little better. They did okay in the polls, so Texas is now up to number 7. They're 5th in the polls. They will probably continue to creep up the rankings as Auburn and Florida play lesser schedules down the stretch. Notre Dame got hurt this week, even though they won over UCLA. They fell back a little bit in the polls. Texas moving up, dropped Notre Dame down to 9th, but Notre Dame still has that game at Southern Cal at the end of the year where they can really make some noise.
All right, thank you, Jerry. And look at these escape artists from Saturday. Texas, Notre Dame, Cal, Tennessee, all just got by. And Petros had hurt Notre Dame. They dropped a spot.
Hurt Notre Dame, and you know what? I'm not a self-promoter, mostly because I'm not an attractive man, but I'll tell you something. I had a weird feeling. I had a premonition. You think you're clairvoyant, Coach, but I tell you what, I was really feeling it. I knew UCLA would give Notre Dame a game because UCLA is a lot better on defense than they have been in the past, and we'll talk about that Cal game later. That was a beautiful, fun college football game. That's what it was all about. But, Coach, you know that I knew that you know that I know now that UCLA was going to give Notre Dame a tough time in South Bend.
You're right.
Act like you know.
You're right. But you didn't come across with Washington. You didn't have the same kind of confidence that Washington's going to get Cal. So don't just pick one game and think that you know what you're doing all of a sudden. You know, what you're seeing right now is parity in college football. A lot of these teams are playing each other. They play each other year in and year out. They know each other. And that's why you see a game much like Tennessee and Alabama. But parity is what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of great teams in the race right now. All right, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, a lot more to go here on the official BCS Rating Show.
Rich Rodriguez has Morgantown cheering his name. The coach joins us next to talk about West Virginia's chances. And Marshawn Lynch is one of the most underrated backs in the country. Petros tells us why. Next on the official BCS Rating Show.
The official BCS Rating Show is brought to you by KFC's Famous Bowls. They're good.
Dad, it's the Army Reserve.
It's the Army.
No. I can still go to college.
It's the Army.
I'm going to be part of something that's important. And it's the Reserve, so they'll train me around here until they need me.
Good training?
It's the Army.
As a soldier in the United States Army Reserve, you can strengthen yourself, your family, and your country. Pursue a civilian career. Continue your education. With the Army Reserve, you'll train near home and serve when needed. And you'll have over 120 careers to choose from, including working with some of the most sophisticated technology in the world. Call 1-888-844-ARMY now for a free DVD and hear from soldiers who have already answered the call. You'll also get a free sports watch. Stand ready in the Army Reserve.
The show that has the sports world buzzing. The FSN Final Score.
Alone, he scores! What a shot!
It's the only national show that gives you nothing but wall-to-wall highlights. No fluff, no filler, just all the action that's lighting up the sports world from coast to coast. The FSN Final Score, presented by DirecTV.
Now, from Avacor Hair Regrowth, there's today's Avacor. With Boost, that gives you visibly thicker hair with the first application. With today's Avacor, you get twice the benefits.
Thinning hair results from toxic degeneration of the hair follicle. Avacor targets the hair follicle to reverse hair loss, improve blood flow, and stimulate new hair growth.
But don't just take our word for it.
I decided to fight back. I tried Avacor because they give a money-back guarantee. In just 3 months, my hair came back. I was amazed.
Well, I'm 72 years old, and I can tell you honestly, I have a fuller, healthier head of hair now than I did when I was 18 years old. Avacor really worked.
And remember, Avacor Boost will improve your hair's appearance the day you receive your order.
Call now and find out how you can get 3 months of Avacor free with your order. Call 800-332-4705. That's 800-332-4705. 800-332-4705.
The critics will say, well, you know, look who they've beaten, the teams you've beaten don't have very good records, but one of the reasons they don't have very good records is because we beat them.
Welcome back to the official BCS rating show. West Virginia came into Friday's game with the 101st ranked schedule, but the rankings speak loud as they've moved up to 4th in the standings. 7 undefeated teams remain, same as last week at this time, and same as last year. 3 of these teams have a bye next week, so these 7 should remain undefeated next week. One of those magnificent 7, the West Virginia Mountaineers, getting it done with large doses of Steve Slayton and Patrick White. They own the nation's 2nd longest winning streak. Time to air it out with head coach Rich Rodriguez. And coach, first of all, let me ask you this. I know you grew up just outside of Morgantown. You got the 4th ranked team in the nation right now. What's the atmosphere like around campus?
Well, it's pretty neat. You know, we're such a small state with no pro team that there's a lot of attention on our program anyway. But doing well, winning a lot of games, getting national recognition, and particularly for our individual players, has been fun for all of our fans, been fun for our program. And for me, being a local guy, it's been a little added bonus on top of that.
Hey, Rich, I know with all the publicity around your program and the BCS rankings coming out and all this, I know your fans are going crazy. The kids know it. I know as a coach, you're sitting there going, you know, I still got to play Louisville, I got to play Pitt, and I got to play Rutgers. What are you doing? How you keeping your kids focused on what you're telling them rather than having them listen to what the media and the fans and everybody else is telling them?
Well, you know, Gary, as coaches, we're paranoid anyway. We're worried about just the next day, making sure they're focused on what they're supposed to do academically, athletically, getting ready for the next opponent. And really, since the Sugar Bowl, we've talked about staying humble and staying hungry and working to get better every day and know that there's going to be a lot of tension. Our guys have done that. That's why the attention brought on has not bothered us, because I told the players way back in the spring, don't let anything change who you are or how you work. And they really have not let anything change them. So our focus has been good. We still got 5 games left, and we're just worried about getting better for the next day.
Now, Coach, I know you have your prom date coming up with Louisville, and that's a game everybody wants to see in the Big East. Sure. But this is a lot tougher conference than people thought it was going to be. Rutgers is undefeated. Talk about the strength of your conference right now.
It really has. I've been saying that for several months, and really for the last couple of years, that the Big East is going to be better from top to bottom than a lot of people nationally think. And I think it's shown that to be true. We've got the best non-conference record of all the BCS leagues. From top to bottom, every team in our league has gotten better. And I think it's because of a variety of reasons. One, the institutions have made a decision to support the programs. Coaching staffs are stable, and you see that. And there's also been a lot better recruiting going on the last couple of years in the Big East, despite all the naysayers. So I've been really proud to be part of it. We'll see what's happening on the Big East the last couple of years, and you'll see that, I think, bear true over the next couple of years as well. As the Big East, even though we're not a big league, from top to bottom is pretty good.
Rich, you're 10 days from playing this game. That's a lot of time, and I know personally, right, I'd rather play an early game than play one 10 days down the road. How are you going to handle practice? What are you going to do that's different?
Well, you don't want to peak too soon, as you know, Gary. You want to make sure you build up to that. And that's going to be an easy game as far as a coaching standpoint goes, getting their guys motivated. You ain't got to worry about getting them fired up for this game. And everybody in the country is going to be watching you. But we got to make sure our guys, 1, correct the mistakes from the last game, and then 2, kind of build up and get ready to play for next Thursday. And I think we've done enough Thursday games, enough midweek games over the last couple of years to have a set schedule. We won't do anything different than we've done in the past with a Thursday game.
Now, right now, you're Hercules in West Virginia. I'm sure you can't even go outside your house. You're like a beetle almost, but you grew up around there, and I know you remember Major Harris. I remember him when I was a kid. Sure. He was the biggest star maybe in the history of that state. Are Slayton and White bigger than Major Harris right now?
You know, I don't know. I was actually here when Major was playing. I was a volunteer coach on defense, and you're right. It was our guys get rock star status anyway because of the attention on our program. And I really think Pat and Steve have done a great job handling it. Now we've had to change a few things after the game. We've had to get maybe some escorts to help them get to their cars because there's a number of people waiting for them. And they're such nice guys. They don't want to turn down an autograph or anything for anybody, so they'll sign anything and everything. But it takes a lot of time from them. And we got to let those kids grow up. We got to let them be college students a little bit and understand that they also have a life to live outside of football. But they've done a great job handling it, and the people around our school and people in our state have done a great job understanding that, hey, they're still young student athletes. Let them live their life a little bit as well.
Coach, let me ask you this. We talked about the strength of the conference. You guys are ranked 4th, Louisville 8th. You got Rutgers there at 14th. You're all undefeated. Do you think you guys are being represented properly in the BCS rankings?
Well, I really haven't even looked at it till talking to you guys, but I think we have. I think obviously there's a lot still to come over the next 4 or 5 weeks. You know, we have 5 games left. Most of the teams in the Big East, I believe, play each other from here on out, so we're going to beat each other up a little bit. But I think the Big East is going to be well represented in the BCS standings at the end of the year. And again, if somebody's fortunate enough to go undefeated in our league, and there's one other undefeated BCS teams, I think both teams will play for a national championship.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time, and best of luck in your game with Louisville.
Thank you.
All right, guys, let's stick with West Virginia. Coach, you've seen the Mountaineers. You know what they're capable of. Do you think they can play for a national title?
Tom, I spent last spring 4 days with the Mountaineers. I wanted to learn the spread offense, and I went and watched Coach Rodriguez's team practice. I went back there this fall and spent 3 more days back there. That team is humble. They're hungry. They're just like what Rich said. That's the hardest practicing football team I've ever seen. Petros, I watched practice, and at the end of practice, I was tired. I had to go get a nap before I could go to the other practice. This team practices hard. They're tough-nosed. Yeah, they're really good.
I've watched 1,000 college football practices and have never learned anything in any of them. And I never get tired. Always just a little bored. I'll tell you something. West Virginia's a good team, and they're explosive offensively. But defensively, they might be a little bit subpar as far as the rest of the teams that are in the running for this BCS thing go. I think they're a good football team, and we're going to find out when they have that ball in 10 days on national TV versus Louisville. Then we'll know who the real deal team is in the Big East. But, you know, everybody was just pointing to West Virginia, Louisville. Now you got to look at West Virginia, Rutgers, and you got to look at Louisville, Rutgers, because Ray Rice and Rutgers are for real as well. And I'm starting to get interested and excited about the Big East. And I've always loved West Virginia. You got Major Harris, man. Remember him? He'd be a first-round NFL player now.
Well,
he wasn't even drafted.
I like Ray Rice. I watched him, and he reminds me of Darnell Autry, kid we had at Northwestern. Ray Rice is a legitimate football player.
And here's an interesting stat that may favor West Virginia. If you look at this, in 4 of the 8 years of the BCS, a team with an initial ranking of 5 or lower has ended up playing for the title. So that bodes well for West Virginia, who came out 5 in the polls last week. They are currently 4 in the BCS standings. All right, it's time for us to take another break, but we still have much more to come here on the official BCS rating show. Up next, the coach dissects the end of the Texas-Nebraska game. And Petros breaks down the Cal rushing attack. The official BCS rating show returns in a moment.
If you're a man over 50, it's time to take the Avodart quiz. Are you always going? Do you have trouble going? Are you going at night? Maybe you think you have a going problem. But what if it's a growing problem? What if it's not your bladder, but instead you have an enlarging prostate? 50% of men over 50 do, and you may be able to do something about that going and growing with Avodart. Most medicines only treat symptoms. Avodart, with time, actually shrinks the prostate and improves urinary symptoms. Only your doctor can tell if your symptoms are from an enlarged prostate and not a more serious condition, such as prostate cancer. So have regular prostate exams. Avodart is for men only. Women should not take or handle Avodart due to the risk of a specific birth defect. Tell your doctor if you have liver disease. Rarely sexual side effects, tenderness, or swelling of the breast can occur. Have you called your doctor? Avodart, for your growing problem.
You got off that train back there, you did 2 things you've never done before. At least not at the same time. You shook my hand, and then you looked me square in the eye. Where'd that come from?
Call 1-888-349-ARMY now for a free DVD and learn about the training, education, and other benefits that come from serving as a soldier in the U.S. Army. You'll also get a free boonie hat. Are you ready to answer the call?
It's television's most prestigious fishing tournament. FLW Outdoors. Look at the bend in that rod. The ultimate weekly challenge in competitive fishing. Woo! Huge fish. Follow the world's top anglers as they go head-to-head in a race to hook the day's most elusive catch. And battle it out for the right to be crowned world champion. FLW Outdoors, Sundays on FSN.
Hey guys, thanks for coming.
Are we in trouble?
No, you're not in trouble. I just want to set some ground rules.
Like what?
Well, remember last week when you hit Vinny in the head with the shovel?
I do not recall that.
Of course not. Well, it was pretty graphic. Too graphic for the kids. So I'm going to have to block you.
You know, I got to make this up to you. This is Vinny's watch, and I want you to have it. You deserve it.
Thank you. That's really not necessary.
No. Come here.
Welcome back to the official BCS rating show.
Here's your look at 11 through 15. Only one change in 11 through 15 from a week ago, and that's Rutgers. Their win over Pittsburgh, they've moved up 2 spots to 14. When you look at 16 through 20, everybody moving up. LSU up 2 spots. Boston College, Wisconsin, Oklahoma all up 3 spots. And the Missouri Tigers move up 4 spots. They are now in the top 20. Time now for our BCS breakdown presented by KFC. A lot of great games yesterday. One of those games, Texas over Nebraska late, but some are being critical of Mac Brown, though, for being aggressive at the end of the game, trying to throw the touchdown pass instead of just sitting back and getting the field goal there. But when you've missed 2 field goals and an extra point, can you blame the guy?
Shoot, no. Being aggressive, gee whiz, you're sitting there with a field goal kicker's missed 2. You've had a PAT block. What confidence do you have in your kicking game? So you throw it to your best receiver, your tallest receiver. Your quarterback's been on fire with touchdown passes. Go for it. And then what's really important is Mac had the guts to put a walk-on kicker, hadn't kicked before, into that situation and believed so much in that kid that he delivered.
Petros, you were at another great game yesterday. Cal beating Washington in overtime. Marshawn Lynch, 150 yards, a touchdown in OT. The guy's been phenomenal.
Best Pac-10 game all year. All around, there were great performances. And you know what? I can't say enough about Washington, what Ty Willingham has done. No Isaiah Stanback. Kenny James went out in the game. No starting quarterback, no tailback. And they're still in it at the end with a Hail Mary. But you just can't beat Marshawn Lynch and Cal. They have great blockers, great receivers, great play all around. They're the best team in the Pac-10. And watch Marshawn Lynch. He's coming here on the zone. He sees it's all bunched up inside. It's him and the safety. The safety is afraid.
The safety should stay outside. Turn the ball back into the other 5 defenders there.
When you see the number 10 flying at you, you just don't know. He froze. Frozen. That was a go-ahead touchdown. And here it is in overtime. Marshawn Lynch showing great patience, letting his blocker set up in front of him. Cal's got a great run game, by far the best in the Pac-10. And Marshawn Lynch on 2 bad ankles, turning on the speed, getting a good block from his wide receiver named
Robert Jordan, 160 pounds.
Yes.
The block of the day.
You study the Pac-10, Coach, and there he is driving the cart around after the game. It was a wonderful game. It was a beautiful game. And right now, Marshawn Lynch on 2 bad legs doing a great job. I think you got to start talking about him for the Heisman, but he can't drive that cart out there. He's going to have to fly. Now, Coach, the one thing I worried about this game was maybe Ty Willingham should have gone for 2. I mean, he's on the road. No one expected him to win the game. There he had that Hail Mary. Why not just go for 2?
I watched the game, and I watched you call the game, and I said, Petros, why aren't they going for 2? Why aren't you even mentioning this? Because you've got Cal in shock, and it's going to take them a couple plays. They give them 3 minutes in an overtime period to get back and get ready. You had them right where you want them. Go for it. That's, nobody's going to care. You're on the road. Your kids are going to want you to go for the win right there. You had a chance to win with 1 play rather than sit back and play overtime.
And I think Cal got tested. I mean, they've been scoring 40 points in the first half of a lot of games and kind of coasting through the second half. But Cal finally got tested. League games are hard. We talk about it all the time. Washington stepped up, and Cal was still able to pull it out in the end at home. I think that's going to help them November 18th against the Trojans.
Yeah, USC, Cal, November 18th. Should be a big one. We still got more to come here on the official BCS rating show.
Up next, a look at next Saturday's big games, and we grade the guys' picks. We're coming right back on the official BCS rating show.
The official BCS rating show is presented by Kyocera, the new value frontier.
If you're a man over 50, it's time to take the Avodart quiz. Are you always going? Do you have trouble going? Are you going at night? Maybe you think you have a going problem. But what if it's a growing problem? What if it's not your bladder, but instead you have an enlarging prostate? 50% of men over 50 do, and you may be able to do something about that going and growing with Avodart. Most medicines only treat symptoms. Avodart, with time, actually shrinks the prostate and improves urinary symptoms. Only your doctor can tell if your symptoms are from an enlarged prostate and not a more serious condition, such as prostate cancer. So have regular prostate exams. Avodart is for men only. Women should not take or handle Avodart due to the risk of a specific birth defect. Tell your doctor if you have liver disease. Rarely sexual side effects, tenderness, or swelling of the breast can occur. Have you called your doctor? Avodart, for your growing problem.
You got off that train back there, you did two things you've never done before. At least not at the same time. You shook my hand, and then you looked me square in the eye. Where'd that come from?
Call 1-888-349-ARMY now for a free DVD and learn about the training, education, and other benefits that come from serving as a soldier in the U.S. Army. You'll also get a free boonie hat. Are you ready to answer the call?
Every week, some will rise, some will fall, and some will take the next step on the road to the BCS. BCS Breakdown on FSN, with previews of Saturday's biggest matchups and detailed analysis of the national championship picture. BCS Breakdown, Friday on FSN. The FSN Final Score tonight.
The Glam Tour's coming to New York City.
Fell on Fox enjoyed one of its most unforgettable seasons ever.
New Orleans Saints come into Carolina with heavy hearts, but this team was able to do it today. Just give them a little hope. An incredible catch! Thrasher needs one more block, and he's got it! Alexander, the record is yours!
As the cold winter settled in, the playoff drama heated up.
And the Seahawks move on. The Carolina Panthers just stamped their ticket to Seattle. Over the middle, touchdown, Stevens. Alexander is in. It is his third trip to the Super Bowl for the Seahawks franchise. It's first.
The NFL drama continues this season on Fox.
The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights on FSN.
So, this is a team.
Undefeated teams left, 3 on a bye. West Virginia and Louisville getting primed for that big matchup a week from Thursday. Last week, Coach used fruit as a visual aid. I don't know what's up next. Deli meats, cured meats. I don't know how he's going to make his picks, but it's working, Coach. You're 7-2 this season. 2-1 on the weekend.
And you'll have to wait till next week to find out just what I do. I should be 9-0 though. I should be 9-0.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. How am I losing to a guy that walks around with fruit in a bag to pick Division I college football games on a BCS rate? This is ridiculous.
Get used to it.
I want to exonerate myself, though, because this was my first week over 500. And I said Georgia Tech is feast or famine. Calvin Johnson didn't show up. Turned out it was famine. But I'm coming back a little, Coach. I'm counter-punching a little bit.
You were right on from this guy to come. All right, that's going to do it for us. Check back with us on Friday for the BCS Breakdown Show. For Petros Papadakis and Gary Barnett, I'm Tom Helmer. Thanks for joining us.
This week, Huckleberry Seed and Gavin Smith headline the showdown between 6 of the world's top players. Only one will advance.